Good. So what time did you get home? 11:30? Golly.
Well, of course, you got to have the team meeting after the games. Don't kid yourself.
At that age, literally, I remember we had an 8 o'clock rule.
They have a 9 o'clock rule. They don't have enough fields. I mean, it's just a matter of fields. It's all right. I was up till 11 anyhow, though, because, had some big sports on last night, David. Tremendous choke job happened. A lot of drama last night.
A tremendous choke job happened.
Yeah, number 1 seed. Fell apart last night.
Okay.
Oklahoma women's gymnastics. Where have you been? I mean, the damn semis were on last night, David. I don't know what.
They didn't make it to the finals?
No, they choked.
Oh!
They're the number 1 seed. They fell off the vault. They had 4 falls. Like, they're the number 1 seed. They fell apart. And it's funny.
Two of the 4 make it to the finals, right?
Right. So I'm watching with Eve, and I'm going, they're not saying choke. They're not saying they fell to the pressure. I mean, this is terrible announcing.
Here we go.
She had it.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Hope you've had a good week. It's all but over. We can get to the finish line from here. Good show lined up for you. But first, how the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Huh? It's pretty strong for the end of the week.
That was. Had some oomph to it. I like when you've got oomph to the voice. That I know that's a sign of a good show.
See, I'm old. I'm a believer in the more that you throw, the stronger your arm is.
Oh, look at you, Randy Johnson.
Yes. Look at me, Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver. Goes back to the Brooklyn Dodgers days of Rube Walker. Yes, the more you throw, the stronger you are, the more pitches you can throw. Yes. How's this pitch count working for all you guys, huh? Yeah. Okay. I digress. How you doing? I can't believe you're done with practice. You text me 9 o'clock. You were still at your daughter's practice last night.
No,
What the heck?
a big game last night, David. I mean, come on. It wasn't just a practice. They leave that for Friday nights because why would you have a night off in youth sports?
Wait, Friday night games? Don't they know?
Friday night practice, Thursday night game,
Friday night practice.
What I just said.
Do they want couples to divorce? Come on, we got to start having some couple time. I mean, it can't be all Saturday night. We know Saturday nights make it happen night, but still, come on. Not allowing any time for a little Friday night romance. Come on, guys.
Very, very important.
No, they got to put your game and practice schedule together differently. Come on. By 6 o'clock Friday, that's it. Enough with the kids. Enough. Enough. Start catering to the adults.
Boy, oh boy, it's been a while since you've been around that that world, David. You don't really understand how it exists.
Well, I still remember it, and you got to remember, I'm enjoying the time that I have now before my granddaughter becomes old enough to start doing all that stuff.
And you're going to be expected to be at every game, David.
Oh, I know. In
fact, I'll sign her up for soccer now if I can, just so you have to go to games.
Remember, I'm friends with Gary Danielson. He has 14 grandchildren. Okay, I'm telling you, he's busier in the off season than he is during the season. Every time I talk to him, he's at a game.
There's no doubt. A lot of the guys I play golf with, they ask, "Oh, so yep. I'll go home and start this very soon.
Go home and find out what the schedule is.
Yep,
right?
Find out from my wife where I have to be every night of the week." I had something incredibly interesting happen to me yesterday, where someone got into their car laughing at me hysterically because they didn't see the whole picture. So we had the softball game last night, and I was running errands yesterday, and I was low on fuel, so I had to stop and get gas. And I grabbed the daughter from school, and we went to get gas. Well, David, I don't know if you're aware, but the new Taylor Swift album dropped at midnight, and then at 2 a.m. she dropped 15 more songs, made it like a double album. So my daughter's all into Taylor Swift, and we go get gas. We've got the Bluetooth rocking in the car, and I had one of my songs. I played a song that, see if she liked one of my songs, which she gave me an eh. And I said, here, have the phone, knock yourself out, play whatever you want. So she starts rocking her Taylor Swift. And I'm getting gas, and I have the front door of my truck open as I'm getting gas so I can communicate with my daughter. But the windows are tinted enough that you can't see into the truck.
Okay.
And here comes a guy who had just finished getting his fuel. He goes inside the store to get whatever he's getting, and he is coming out to his car with his, looked like his 12-pack of beer ready for the night.
Sure.
And all you can hear coming from my car is Taylor Swift. And here's a 54-year-old guy, a good 25 pounds overweight, and all you hear, and he looks up at me. And he can't see the daughter.
Right.
And the music's loud enough. And he looks at me again, and I don't do anything. I'm just going to let this play out.
Sure.
Puts his head down, gets in his car, and drives away. And I know he's going, oh, my God, that guy was listening to Taylor Swift. He had Taylor Swift rocking in the car. He had the door open so he could hear Taylor Swift.
I'm glad you let it play out.
Oh, absolutely.
Would have been great if he recognized you. That would have been the best. You know those two yahoos in the morning? Yeah. One of them's a Swiftie. No. I mean a full-on Swiftie. Yep.
It's fantastic.
Good deal. So, are we ready for the weekend? This is a big weekend. This is a sexy weekend. This feels almost like put your hand in the dirt and let's go weekend, only it doesn't involve that sport. Honestly, are we doing this? Oh, we're doing this. That's what this is this weekend. NBA and NHL playoffs. Yeah, they're actually going to play hard in the one sport, and they're going to hit in the other. So nice to see hockey again. This stuff they do in the regular season, it's pretty good. They do play mostly hard. Okay, the skating is incredible. The skill level, the whole do. They hit 1 out of every 3 games. All right. Now they're going to hit 3 times on every shift. Oh,
It's a totally different level.
I love this so much. I can watch it's like World Cup soccer. I can watch any hockey playoff series. I really can. It's why.
Well, and we're all into the East, and the Florida series is going to be great, but the West has been terrific all year long, and that's going to be just as exhilarating as the East. Maybe even in a couple series a little better.
Vegas tanked last night to avoid playing Edmonton in the first round. Okay. So they could play the best team in the West on paper, Dallas. How do you think Dallas feels? Dallas, who may have the best goalie in the game.
And if not, certainly a top 3.
And they're like, wait a minute, hold on a second. They tanked because they wanted to play us? Do they know we have the best record in the West? Seriously? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's on. I can't wait. I love this so
You won't
much.
even be able to nap for the West Coast games, will you? You're so.
No.
Fortunately, we just start Saturday night, and it doesn't get too. They kind of ease us into it.
I am gonna need Trent to have to really pick up his game. Okay, he brings the 2 energy drinks to work. And how early is it that he's on energy drink number 2? That's a strong indication as to what kind of show it's going to be like for Trent. I am going to have, and you know how it works too. It's like the Wednesday night triple overtime game.
Absolutely.
Right. You're already starting to get a little tired from the week. And then the hockey playoffs just gut you. And you know me. More times than not. When it's because, once again, we need to explain this, the Miller and Moulton rules to the NHL playoffs. If the game goes overtime, you have until the drop of the puck in the first overtime to decide, are you in or are you out? And if you're in, you're in. So if
it's where I leave a towel by the back door. This is where my pool comes in handy because it is the overtime dip that I need to take to rejuvenate myself. I'm not afraid to cannonball in.
Yes.
Because once the overtime starts, I have no problem staying up during the overtime. It's the 12-minute intermissions that can get me.
Totally.
Because they don't take the one great thing about the hockey playoffs is they don't take commercials in overtime.
No, because they're not sold. They only sell the inventory for the first 3 periods. And so there's no inventory. There are no ads to run. They would be freebies. They don't even go to break because in hockey, after the first stoppage after 10 minutes, they come out and they kind of just, clean the ice, so to speak. They don't bring the Zamboni out, but, they bring the shovels and the sweepers, and they take about a minute and they just kind of clean up the ice. Okay. And then and so that's a break. They don't even take a commercial during that minute that they're cleaning up the ice. I mean, the hockey playoffs are great. But the Miller and Moulton rule, you should try it. You have until they drop the puck. You can think about it the whole 12, 13 minutes. If you see them drop the puck in overtime, you have an obligation. It is it's an amendment. All right. You have an obligation to your country to watch the overtime until it is through. Unless it's 2 Canadian teams. No, I'm just kidding.
It's an obligation, but it's also a tribute to the sports gods. They will come and bite you in your team if you do not follow the overtime rules.
And it is exhilarating when your team wins. And it is crushing at 1:23 a.m. when you're doing a morning show when your team loses.
I've got to be honest, I'm really fired up that Lightning Panthers ended up happening because I needed a series that I'm really, really interested in, because I'm not joking around when I say this. I was bummed out for a couple of days with the Wings not making the playoffs.
I know you were.
I've not had that feeling in a long time. I would have loved to have seen my team play 4 or 5 more games, because they weren't going to be good enough to get through the first round. I just wanted them in the first round.
Sure. I hear you. Yeah. I mean, what's it been? 6-8 years?
Yeah.
Since we've been in the playoffs? So,
Yep.
yeah, I hear you.
But Lightning Panthers has me.
12:30 Sunday.
Yep.
12:30 Sunday. For those of you, you got to do church and what have you, that's fine. All right. You could even slip in the meal. You could just slip in brunch, but at 12:30, not 1 o'clock, because the period will be over. No. 12:30. Let's get ready. We're doing this. And Heat facing elimination tonight. Exact same scenarios last year.
Yeah,
lost the 7-8 game. Who are they playing at home in the 8-9? Okay, Chicago. One difference, though. One difference. It was even on a Friday night last year, too. Mark, what's the difference?
There's no Jimmy Butler tonight.
Man, that seems problematic.
It really does. Bam Adebayo is going to have to be big. Tyler Hero is going to have to be huge for them to get through this game. Miller and Moulton, we've got a great show lined up for you. The starting lineup is a mere 25 minutes away on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd.
Down to a minute.
Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA-certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, go Raiders. I'm okay with it. I mean, if they can't beat Washington, then, they deserve to be home. But I didn't want Pittsburgh. Of all the teams that were in contention, had no problem with the Flyers, no problems with the Wings. All right. So They didn't down the stretch, though, go Raiders. I mean, till that final meaningless game of the year, what were they, 8-0-3 in their last 11? Something like that? I mean, they started to throw in some of the younger guys from their AHL team. Crosby had – that's the thing. It is tough to throw away. I mean, I don't know if Crosby will ever have a year this good again. The Cavender twins saved the day, Sonny? Wow.
Kilo's dad, I don't mean to say this with any disrespect. I hope the Caps get swept. They are far and away my least favorite American hockey team. I hate the Caps. I've never liked the Caps. Oh, who knows what song it was I let it. It's one Taylor Swift. It might have been Cruel Summer. It might have been, I don't know. I don't know. That's the one she's been rocking lately.
Cruel Summer is?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
I can't. I can't. Hang on. Let me just open my phone right now. I can tell you what we've been listening to. Let's see here. Yeah, we listened to Cruel Summer. We listened to The Archer. We were kind of rocking the Lover album, apparently, yesterday. That's where we were at. That's her second favorite album, compared to 1989.
That's the one, for me, at least. I think it came out in 2014. I was in middle school.
If you have to listen to 1989, can you make her listen to 1984? No?
What I because I sing at her all the time. She'll say a word and it'll remind me of a song. And I'll say, Dad, does everything have to be a song? I'm like, well, you just make this up. I'm like, no, they're songs. So I play them.
I was going to say, you said Cruel Summer. I'm doing Bananarama.
No, I like the Orioles, Kilo's dad. I like the O's. I like your Orioles, but that's probably the only. I've never liked the Washington Commanders. George Allen drove me nuts as a coach when I was a kid, licking his hands and his arms. He just was an idiot. The Nats don't matter to me.
But he loves Theismann. He's gotten to know. He hated Theismann.
Until I got to know him.
Brought him on the show.
Yeah. I like your baseball team.
And then we used to see him at Super Bowls.
And come on, let's be honest. That's your favorite of your team. Based on your comments, the Orioles are your favorite.
3, 2, 1.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes after the hour. Starting 5, although I hear it's been reduced. Okay? It's been cut back to the
you get a minute.
1. Right.
You get a minute. That's it.
So maybe the last starting 5 coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. We have a full guest list today. We do. Full guest list. 4 interviews in a row, in fact. It begins in an hour. Okay, you wanted Panthers Lightning? We got it covered. Heat elimination tonight? Got it covered. NFL draft tonight? Got it covered. Kid born and raised, grew up in Florida, made his NHL debut this week. Will join us in the bonus hour. Got it covered. I mean, this on paper looks like a damn good show. Don't worry, the host will get in the way. So, all right, the Arizona team, they're moving to Utah. The jerseys, the name is staying in Arizona. They're given 5 years to, basically pull a Cleveland Browns and, bring hockey back. So they have to rename this team. It's right up your alley, baby. You've been a part of this at the minor league level. Okay, name it of a team. So, they patented and trademarked. They sent 5 applications in yesterday to the Patent and Trademark Office. Would any of these 5 do it for you? By the way, they're not going Salt Lake. They're going Utah. This is the whole Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning.
I think that's a legal thing, too. I think legally they have to call it Utah. There's some thing about their pro teams.
Well, they only have one.
I know, but I read somewhere that, like, if they ever got another pro team, it would have to be called Utah, not Salt Lake.
Huh.
But anyways, proceed.
Oh, well, it's just nice sidebar. I like it. We'll see how the judge rules later on. Utah Blizzard, Utah Venom, Utah Fury, then Utah HC. You know, like in soccer, everything is
Right.
FC. And then they spelled out HC to Utah Hockey Club. Because the owner has said, I am not putting a name on this team that I don't like. I'll call it Utah Hockey Club for a year until I find the name that I like. So that's the 5 trademarks they went with yesterday. Here, I got one for you. How about Miners?
The Utah Miners?
Not like UTEP, not like underage. You know,
No. I got you.
Miners. Right. Joe Shad had 3 recommendations. Utah Swarm. I don't quite understand that one. Help me. Utah Miners, Utah Outlaws.
I like the Outlaws. I'm not opposed to the Blizzard.
Question, is Blizzard too close to the Colorado Avalanche? Can you have 2 teams in the league? Could very well be in the same division. Okay. The Blizzard are playing the Avalanche.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Now, don't laugh, okay, because this is not funny, although it just, anyway. So I like the name Miners. The problem is there's a team in the league called the Predators. So the 1 or 2 times a year that they play, you can't have the Predators playing the Miners, can you? I mean, it just really sounds bad.
Well, it depends on what order you say it in.
Yes, but it's not good either way. You can't have the Miners around the Predators, can you?
I think it's a lot tougher on radio than it is on TV. But
Right. I'm just saying. I mean, I just think for one night it's awkward. You know, and they usually play twice a year. I just think it'd be awkward. That's all. So anyway, those are the names. Just curious. You've been through this. You've been to part of organizations that are starting up in a city, the whole deal. We got to name it all different ways. We can have a contest. You know, some guy just walks in the door and says, we ain't having a contest. I know the name. This is what we're going to be. Oh, okay. So just curious, Mr. Name Your Franchise. What do you think?
Like I said, I like Blizzard. I have no problem with Blizzard. The HC thing, I hope doesn't happen. I really don't.
You mean hockey club?
Yeah, that's.
I'm with you. I think we can just.
I don't have a
those.
problem with Adrian off of Facebook said, how about the Utah Elks? It's the state mammal of Utah. I have no problem with the Utah Elks.
I have to admit, I kind of like Salt Lake more than Utah.
no, me too. That's why I brought that up, David, because I think there's a lot more alliteration with Salt Lake. But that's not an option, apparently. It has to be Utah.
When we had the Olympics there, we did not have the Olympics in Utah. It was where the Olympics, Salt Lake City. And I will say, if you throw city on the end of it, we sound like a European football club, don't we?
Well, that's where this whole HC thing just no. Stop it.
I mean, but if you go Blizzard, like it's pointed out in our Twitch chat room, don't you have Dairy Queen, the official sponsor of the Utah Blizzard?
I'm fine with that. What's wrong with a Blizzard? I'll go Heath Bar personally. It's delicious. It's wonderful. I'd prefer a concrete mixer to a blizzard, but all the same, I'm not going to say no to a blizzard.
Oh, you're talking about ice cream. I was
Yes.
thinking names of a franchise. I'm like, well, we could go with concrete mixer. Okay, we could just, have a concrete truck on the front and what have you. I mean, it's tough to have the mixer spin on the jersey, but okay, sure. My father's parents actually lived on a concrete plant. On the plant. Okay, it's concrete and salt of, sand, stone, everything all around them. Okay, lifts, elevators, just shakers, trucks, the whole deal, and then a little patch of grass and a house. They lived there rent free. Grandfather worked there for like 50 years, and they didn't have any money. And so that was the deal. Well, if you're willing to live here, you're overnight security, and you can live here rent-free. Let me tell you, noisy during the day.
I would say that would be, an earplug type home. That would be tough to watch the Mighty Nooner, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness! I mean, Mets games were loud. Whew.
None of the names jump off the page at me. I will say that. Like, I'm okay with Blizzard of all the names that I heard, but
right,
none of them really are doing it for me, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of where the owner is right now. I see why he might, if the name doesn't go, we're just going to be Utah HC until I find a name. Okay.
So John in our Twitch chat room suggested the Utah Salt Lakers. See what he's doing there?
I do.
Right, got it. So, and obviously, we're not doing anything involving Mormons. Come on now. All right. No sense going there.
I had a buddy that recommended the 46ers because apparently it's 46% Mormon in Utah. So let's call them the 46ers.
Yeah, but then what happened if the percentage goes up or down? What do?
Commit to the bit, I guess. I don't know.
So anyway, there you have it. So the Coyotes name, the jerseys, the colors, everything, it goes in a closet, but it stays in Arizona. They got 5 years to find land and build an arena. And if so, they'll give them a team. If not, I don't know. I think we send all the stuff to Africa or somewhere. I don't know. It's done, over with.
Do you think they have a team inside of 5? Do you think they'll fulfill their obligation and get a team back in Arizona?
I do, but I don't think it'll be the guy who's owned it. I don't think he can pull it off. I don't think the people there want to support him, but I think they would support someone else. Also, very quickly, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks now are going to try to use the Coyotes to get new digs for all of them. Starting 5 is next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. I am. Anybody got an idea for a poll question?
Something with the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Do the Heat win tonight? Who do you like, Panthers or Lightning?
I think Panthers Lightning is a good one.
I think we put them both up, actually.
Which Florida NBA, NHL team goes further in the playoffs? Orlando, Miami, Panthers, Lightning?
Ooh. I like that, David. I like it so much, we're going to put it up.
How about that?
Which Florida team will go furthest in the playoffs?
Yep. Or deepest?
I like deepest.
Johnny Fingerlakes, that's a great question. We should probably use it next week. Should we have poll questions?
Yes.
Our poll question is, should we have a poll question? I know, Canada Relief. Isn't that amazing? This is the first time McVay's been a part of the Rams that they've had a first-round pick. Because the last time they had it, Jeff Fisher was the coach, and they took Goff. Oh, no. Trust me. Ranger fans are aware.
So I've got a buddy whose wife's a big UK fan. She's on her way here. She doesn't live here anymore. She used to. She saw the arc. She saw Jerry Jones give the money to Calipari.
Mm-hmm.
Text her husband. Tell so-and-so to tell Jerry Jones to shut the blank up and worry about his own loser team, who's a buddy of ours who's a Cowboys fan. Just attacking the random Cowboys fan. She's so upset with UK right now. I love it. I absolutely love it.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Hey, big week for us next week. We're expanding. And I don't just mean our waistlines. No, the show, I mean. Yeah. We're going to be in Huntsville and Jacksonville next week. They got the equipment. They're hooking it up and everything.
How about that?
So, big week for us next week. I don't know. I mean, should we change things up? Call the show Moulton and Miller, get a different voice, give Trent his own hour. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just,
Boy, you're going nuts over there.
well, I don't know if we need to make changes. Or we're going to, just like, I feel like we're going to meet the family. Got to try to impress them. And they say, just be yourself. And deep down you go, I don't know if that's going to be good enough.
It usually isn't in our case.
Got that right. Got that right. In our case, we just had to hope they dated so badly before us. It's like, I don't know. He seems pretty good. All right.
He'll do.
And yeah, I really don't know if I want to go back out there and try to. I'm sure I could find a better outfit, but I'll wear this. I'll wear this brown thing and we'll have chicken. It'll be fine. So meanwhile, we're like, I'll be damned, chicken. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
All right, we're getting serious. The Heat face elimination tonight at home against the Bulls. It's the exact same situation as last year where they lost the 7-8 play-in game. Then they hosted the Bulls, who won the 9-10 game. Only last year on a Friday night in Miami, they had Jimmy Butler. They will not have Jimmy Butler tonight. In fact, strong likelihood the Heat are going to be without Butler for the playoffs because he's got a damaged right MCL, and they're talking about him missing a few weeks. Well, even if they win tonight, they're going to play the Celtics. That series is going to take a couple weeks. They'd have to get by the Celtics to maybe see Jimmy Butler again. And are they really going to beat the Celtics without Jimmy Butler?
No.
So anyway, Heat face elimination tonight against the Bulls. Heat are a 1.5-point favorite. When Jimmy Butler was playing, the Heat were a 1.5-point favorite. Now that he's not, so Vegas is really dissing Jimmy Butler. I mean, that line didn't move at all. The other play-in game out west, Sacramento's at New Orleans. Pelicans aren't going to have Zion, and Sacramento's a favorite on the road by 1.5. There you have it. If the Heat win tonight, they'll play the Celtics 1 o'clock Sunday. By the way, Orlando, first time in 4 seasons, Magic in the playoffs. They're at Cleveland tomorrow. It's the first game of the full field playoff. 1 o'clock tomorrow, the Magic and the Cavs. Kawhi is, quote, iffy, unquote, for game 1 against Dallas on Sunday. His right knee is, well, it's swollen. He hasn't practiced in a while. Got to be honest. I don't think he's going to play. Kentucky's Reed Shepherd is done. He's entering the NBA draft, likely to be a top 10 pick. By the way, worst draft probably since the Kwame Brown draft, apparently. That's how bad this NBA draft is.
Oh, that's fantastic for your Pistons, Trent.
Right. And for the teams like the Knicks and Oklahoma City who held on to all those first-round picks. And, yeah. So, Caitlin Clark, I don't know if you've heard of her, but she back in the news. So the Nike deal, Mark, we thought, she's making money kind of the way that we played the ratings game with her and women's college basketball. Every time we set the over-under, and we're like, man, that's a pretty high over-under. Yeah, they went way past it. And then we do it again, they go way past it. So it was reported 2 days ago that she's going to get a Nike shoe. She'll be the third WNBA player to get a shoe. And she was going to get $10 million. No, she's going to get $20 million. Arizona Coyotes franchise sold to Utah for $1.2 billion, yet the team name and existence is put on a 5-year hold. If the guy who's just sold the Coyotes can find land and get the financing and build an arena, Gary Bettman's promised Phoenix he will give them an expansion team, which would be the league's 33rd team, which means there'll be at least one other team to go with it. Most people think if they add a 33rd team, they'll add 3 more on top of it and go to 36. The Utah team name yet to be determined. However, in 2 hours, they sold 6,000 deposits on tickets. In 2 hours. Not bad. They're going to play in the same arena where the Jazz play, and I guess they're going to work on that arena and make it bigger. Because right now, it's only for hockey, it's only good for 12,000 seats. They're going to expand it eventually, make it 19,000 for the Jazz, 17,000 for the hockey team. All right. Last night of the NHL regular season last night, most of the games had no meaning. Winnipeg doubled up Vancouver. What it means, by the way, Vancouver's going to end up playing Nashville in the first round. Winnipeg will have home ice against Colorado. San Jose finished with the worst record in the league with just 47 points.
That's tough to do in the NHL. I mean, it really is. The way they give out points in that league, it is difficult to have that bad of a record.
And they had less points than the Chicago Blackhawks, who had like 51, which is also very difficult to do. Both those teams missed the playoffs. So Calgary beat Edmonton 5-1, Colorado beat Edmonton 5-1. Edmonton is going to end up playing the LA Kings, who won in overtime against Chicago 5-4. And by doing so, they jumped ahead of Las Vegas, who mailed one in to Anaheim at home and lost 4-1. It's as if Vegas intentionally threw a game so they could play Dallas in the first round instead of Edmonton. That seems strange. Better goalie in Dallas, better team in Dallas. I mean, you're that afraid of Connor McDavid? Really? You beat him in the conference finals last year. Anyway, Seattle beat Minnesota 4-3. Former Lightning Yanni Gourde with 2 goals for the Kraken. Lightning and Panthers, Sunday, 12:30 ESPN, Game 1. Let's do this, shall we? Third time in 4 years. Baseball. Rays scored 2 in the first, held off the Angels 2-1. Tampa Bay's 11-9. Listen, if you're the Rays, and I'm being very serious, if I give you a piece of paper right now that says every 20 games you'll go 11-9, that means with 2 games left in the season, you'll have 88 wins. Would you take it?
Yes.
So that potentially,
I think that's a wild card.
So potentially you'd have 88, 89, or 90 win season because
right.
88 wins with 2 games to go. You think if we pulled the Kevin Cash and the GM aside right now and said, listen, here's the offer, take it or leave it, you think they'd take it?
No, I think they'd leave it.
Okay. You would take it for them.
I would take it for them.
Gotcha. Texas took 3 out of 4 from Detroit. We know that because we bet the Tigers. And the Tigers committed 3 errors and gave up a bunch of unearned runs. Come on, guys. Texas beat them 9-7. Cleveland over Boston 5-4. The Guardians are 13-6, by the way. I think that's the best record in baseball. So the Red Sox opened with a 10-game road trip, went 7-3 on the road trip, came home for a 10-game homestand, went 3-7 on the homestand. They're 10-10 going back on the road. Marlins were postponed in the north side of Chicago. That's a win for Miami, right? When you're 4-15 on the season and you get rained out, that's a good day. They'll make it up as a doubleheader tomorrow. And the Giants shut out the Diamondbacks 5-0. Logan Webb, 7 shutout innings.
Just a quick correction for you. Guardians' best record in the AL, tied with the Yankees. The Atlanta Braves at 12-5 have the best record in baseball from a percentage standpoint.
What are they, like 1-2 percentage points ahead?
Like
those
a
Braves.
little bit more than that, but
gotcha. Because they'd be tied in the standings,
Right.
13-6
No,
and
I got you.
would be
I
tied.
got you. But percentage-wise, 12-5 is over
Right,
700.
Correct.
684 for that.
Listen, we know the Braves are going to end up with like 104 wins. I mean, and that's with Strider being out. I mean, they're unbelievable. Best organization in baseball right now. So PJ Tours in Hilton Head. JT Poston, 8 under as a 2-shot lead over a couple guys. One of them is named Colin Morikawa. Have you heard of him? He just finished T3 in the Masters.
Based on the ratings of the Masters, maybe, maybe not.
Right. Now, the guy who finished second in the Masters, Ludwig Oberg, he's 3 shots back at 5 under. Rory's at 4 under. Scotty Scheffler showed up Wednesday night. Played in this sucker after all. It's an elevated event. He didn't want to get fined. 2 under par. Spieth 1 under. LPGA Tour, they're playing their first major of the year. It's in Texas. It's called the Chevron. American Lauren Coughlin, your leader at 6 under. So her husband lost his job or quit his job a couple months ago. And he's caddied for her a couple times. But they have a relationship where they don't spend a lot of time together. She's on the road and what have you. And so she's like, I do not want you caddying for me full time. He's like, no, it'll be good. We'll spend time together. We'll go see parts of the world. Who knows if we'll get to see again, blah, blah, blah. And he says, listen, if this doesn't work out, I'll go get a job. And she goes, all right. So the hubby's on the bag. They're leading the major. She had her first career top 10 2 weeks ago with the hubby on the bag. See, ladies? Huh?
You're not always wrong. Just most of the time.
I mean, I know we agitate you, but sometimes on a golf course, maybe we can calm you down. 2-shot lead she has over 3 golfers. One of them's Nelly Korda. She's looking for her 5th win in a row. Lydia Ko, 3 shots back. Rose Zhang, the 20-year-old American sensation, is 2 over. And I love this story. AJ Storr is now the poster boy, child for college sports as we know it. AJ Storr just had a really nice year with Wisconsin. Yeah, he was leaving Wisconsin. He's going to Kansas. Reportedly going to make $750,000 this year.
Wanted $1 million though. I mean, Kansas offered him the $750,000. He turned it down.
He turned it down. He couldn't get a better offer elsewhere. So he called Kansas back up and says, is that $750 still good? And Bill Self said, hell, we always have $750 lying around. Sure. Boom. Okay. So to review, next year, Kansas. This past year, Wisconsin. Year before that, St. John's. Then the 4 years before that, 4 different high schools. That's right. Went to a different school in 9th grade, different school in 10th grade, different school in 11th grade, went to IMG Academy his senior year. Here you go. He will be at his 7th different school in 7 seasons. AJ Storr, the new poster child for college and youth sports as we know it right here. No?
It's a kid for USC that was going to try to pull that off. Had the same high school thing, football player. Transferred to USC after his freshman. I don't know if it was Bama, but transferred out to USC, got in the portal, and then took himself out of the portal. So he was trying to keep up with AJ Storr. But that is the modern day athlete.
There you have it. AJ Store. Give it up to me. I was trying to, to me, I had like a 10-foot par putt clap going. I sensed from the rest of you guys have like a tap in for double bogey clap going. I just.
It may have been that par putt, but it was Patrick Reed taking it.
Where even in America, playing for the U.S. Ryder Cup team, people still can't get themselves to applaud.
You got it.
And at 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the starting five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
It's been a busy week, though, the whole college scene. Notre Dame, by the way, facing a suit from an NLRB claim in which they're saying, yeah, don't give me the student athlete thing. They're employees. Notre Dame. Well, we just had it in Ivy League school, so why can't we have it, at Notre Dame? The Virginia legislature passed legislation that said the Virginia colleges could pay the guys directly. You don't have to set up an NIL. Just pay them out of your athletic department. That overrides NCAA rules, Miller and Moulton.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Wants to go back and win a natty. That's he wants to go back to BC and win a natty. If they would have won a natty, he might be playing for the Caps now.
All right, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Exciting time of the year, less than a week away from the NFL draft. Got the NBA and the NHL playoffs beginning in full tomorrow. NBA playoffs kind of sort of underway with the play-ins. Kind of sort of. But to me, this is what I love. As many things, obviously, because we're big into sports on this show, after all. But I love the fact, Mark, that the best team in the regular season hardly ever wins the title in our 4 major team sports, if you really think about it. I mean, who was the best team in hockey last year? It was the Bruins.
Right.
Lost in the first round. In fact, apparently the best team in the NHL, regular season team in the NHL, hasn't gotten past the second round in the last 8 years. So that doesn't bode well for my Rangers, who finished with the most points. And I don't think the Rangers are getting past the second round, by the way. But, I mean, this past year in football, who had the best record? Ravens. You know, we can play this game out. Very rarely does the team with the best record win the championship in the 4 major sports. It's happened like 6 times in the NBA, by the way, this century.
Yeah, the NBA quit caring this century about regular season records. They care about the MVP, but first overall means nothing to them.
You know, the Warriors did it twice. You know, during their run that they had in the middle of last decade. You know, twice they had the best record and they won the title. But their best team with the 73-win team got beat in the finals. It's only happened 6 times in the NBA since 2001 that the team with the best record wins the title. So if I gave you the Celtics or the field right now, well,
I would have taken the field anyhow, not knowing that information.
Okay. I mean, based on the last 23, 24 seasons, 3/4 of the time, the field wins. In hockey, I mean, what, 3 times in the last 20 years, the President's Trophy team? I mean, I think one of the Blackhawks titles was the President's Trophy team. And I don't know. It's tough to remember another President's Trophy winner. Did the Wings in one of their 2000 titles, 02, 08, were they the President's Trophy winner? I mean, I think it's only like 3 times this century that the President's Trophy winner has won the title in the NHL. You know, we can do this in the World Series. I mean, Dodgers and Braves. I mean, Dodgers won the World Series once in 30 years. The Braves have just had 2 dominant teams that have lost in the division round of the Phillies back to back. The team that won the World Series snuck in with like 90 wins. So here we are. We're about to begin the NBA and the NHL playoffs. We just had it happen to us in the NFL playoffs. I mean, the Chiefs were a 3 seed. I mean, you know, all the cliches, you know, sometimes they become cliches because they're true. It's a totally different deal, the playoffs and the regular season. Totally. It is remarkable to me, Mark. I don't know if those numbers seem low to you. I was surprised how infrequently the so-called best team in the regular season doesn't win the championship.
Yeah, because it just in my head, I would think in basketball it would have meant so much, but in the last 6 to 8 years with load management, the way that they handle their roster heading into the playoffs, and more about being healthy for the playoffs and worrying about. We've talked about this for a while, though, David. You actually, if you think about it, on this show, we've been bringing up for a long time, long before this act started, of home court, ice, field advantage doesn't exist anymore. And
college basketball, it's the only place that we think home court still exists. Otherwise, field, ice, court, we don't think it exists in professional sports. And you're right, Mark. We have felt that way for damn near a generation, almost from the time you and I joined forces 18 years ago to do a show. We thought there was enough evidence then. Never mind since.
And in college hoop, they don't get home court in the postseason.
Right. But it happens infrequently in college basketball, too, if you want to count that as a major sport. I mean, that's what South Carolina women and UConn men just did is the exception. The overall number 1 seed doesn't win the title in a 6-game tournament. 6-game, not 2 months, not you need 16 wins or however many. No. 6. And they don't get it done. Far more often than not. So, you know, here we are. Hockey and basketball. Celtics and Rangers. If the poll question was the Celtics and Rangers had the best records in the NBA and NHL respectively, how many of them win the title? 0, 1, or 2? What would your answer be?
0. And without hesitation, 0. Because like you, and I know you follow the Rangers a lot more closely than I do, but there was never been a time this year that I thought they were the best team in the East, let alone the best team in the game.
Right.
And the Celtics are dominating a conference that's not very good this year. Does it? I mean, I think they're going to get to the final, but I don't think they're going to win the final. And I'd give the Celtics a whole lot better shot than I'd give the Rangers.
Well, totally. In fact, I got to be honest, the Celtics are getting a great draw. I mean, think about it. They're going to get the Heat or the Bulls in the first round, and then they don't reseed in the NBA. So they're going to get the Cavs or the Magic in the second round. I mean, come on. And if, and it's a huge if, and I don't think any one of them, but if there's a team in the East that we think might be able to give the Celtics a series, it would probably be one of the three teams to mention: the Bucks, the Sixers, or the Knicks. Well, they're all on the same side of the draw. So, I mean, the Celtics have as clean a run to the finals as really you can have in the NBA.
The Bucks might not get out of the first round. The Knicks are injured.
Well, and they're playing the Sixers. I mean, so two of the three teams might not get out of the first round. Right.
And now all the talk is that Embiid is hurt again, playing through injury.
I don't know.
One game, and apparently he's shot.
Well, he landed awkwardly in the second to last regular season game, so I guess they're saying maybe he re-aggravated it. But I don't know. He's still at 23 and 15 on a bad leg. I mean, this just in 1.5 legs. He's better than any center guarding him in the East. I'll tell you that. I mean, might need him for Denver, but otherwise, I don't see anybody else handling him one-on-one in the East. But just wanted to throw that out there. Here we are, the 2-month, rigmarole that's about to start in the NBA and the NHL. And basically, the history says, Rangers and Celtics are not winning their respective championships. Not even the Celtics. Who was the best team in basketball this year? It wasn't close. They've got as easy a run through a conference as a team has had in 40 years, quite frankly. I mean, this is like the Lakers in the 80s through the West. How clean this run is for the Celtics this year to get to the NBA Finals. But history says they ain't going to win it. And remember, they haven't won in 16 years. They're getting a little ornery up there. All the other teams have won titles. So, Bruins titles in 2011. Boston sports fans like, hey, come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah, we know you have the most, but
get with the program.
It's been a while.
Right. So, just keep that in mind. And that's why when we're picking, or if you're making picks on, the NBA, I mean, put it this way, Mark, do you think what has a bigger advantage? Home court in the NBA, home ice in hockey?
I think home court in the NBA. I do.
Even though we think it doesn't really exist.
But the familiarity with the arena shooting, to me, would make a difference. The hockey rink, they're 200 by 85. It's the same net. The boards are now all so similar. You don't go to a place like Joe Louis where you get quirky bounces. There's no Boston Garden where the rink's 180 feet. So I think basketball ever so slightly.
Don't tell the Celtics that. Lately, they've been losing game 7s at home. But just wanted to point that out. And keep it in mind with baseball. I'm telling you, whoever ends up with the best record in baseball this year, do not pick them to win the World Series. In fact, don't even pick them to get to the World Series.
Well, that's why that sport's going to change their playoff format quickly.
You think so?
I think they're adding teams that they don't like that time. I mean, come on. There's nobody in baseball that thinks that the time off is useful for the top seeds.
You mean they don't want the Arizona Diamondbacks making a wild card run to the World Series? Is that what you're saying?
Add more teams. Sometimes that's what you get.
You're right, though. They're going to add two. When they add 2 teams and go to 32, they're going to add an extra round of the playoffs, and they're going to increase the number of playoff games you have to win.
It's the only way they can get more revenue.
And
it's the only thing that the networks are even remotely interested in that sport, David.
And in theory, more games gives the better teams more of an opportunity to win. Miller and Moulton. So, Lightning, Panthers. We'll begin previewing that series from the Lightning point of view in 25 minutes. Heat facing an elimination game tonight. A little over an hour from now. We'll discuss, are the Heat done with no Jimmy Butler? And Pat Kirwan, as we continue to preview the NFL draft in 45 minutes. The play of the day is next.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What is going on? First off, is Trent working today?
Yes, I'm here.
What? Hey! Hey, buddy! What the hell? What are you taking a nap? Are you laying on the floor?
Might as well be.
Your feet? I mean, what's going on?
I'm all out of whack today.
Mike's not working? What?
Well, Mike's working fine.
He's got nothing, is what he's saying. I have absolutely nothing, guys.
I'm dragging. What can I tell you?
God, how are you going to make it through the playoffs? They haven't even started, man.
I don't know. Good question.
There was no NBA last night.
No, he went at a pool day with his aunt and uncle and drank all day.
No.
Yeah.
Got here about 10 to 6 this morning.
Yeah, Mark was not happy with
Dude. Hey, that's twice this week. Come on now. We're adding affiliates and everything. I mean, we're like almost a real show. Come on.
Got to look alive.
You got to get there at 5:30 is what you got to do.
Right. Get hooked up. Make sure everything's good.
Yeah, or either that or call from home, something. Just call Westwood 1. So what is going on in the Twitch chat room? Good riddance to Jimmy Butler? What? Now we'll see if Eric Spoelstra is good or overrated. What? Did you see the team he took to the finals last year? Good riddance to Jimmy Butler. Got to 3 conference finals in 4 years, 2 NBA finals. He's carried them. He single-handedly kicked the Celtics' ass twice. Yeah, Irish, come on. The Nuggets versus the Heat last year? I mean, the Nuggets were a good team. The Heat were a mash unit. God, you guys are tough. Man. Wow. Really? How many titles?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, God.
Who are they talking about? Jimmy? I missed
Jimmy
that.
Butler and the Heat.
Boy, Felipe would be in just disarray right now.
I watched the play-in game with him. He was
blowing a
aside
12-point lead. Oh, my goodness. Plus Butler gets hurt. I'm sure he loved Tyler Hero taking his sweet time there in the final seconds to make that 3.
Right. He was like, shoot it! Shoot it!
So I got a text this morning. There's this, and I doubt it's true. He just said, I hope this is true. But it's Butler kept saying 9 for 27, and Hero reportedly threw a punch that did not connect. Butler then yelled 9 for 28.
I got to admit, would that surprise any of us?
No.
No. Mm-mm. Yes, Kilos. Felipe Alvarez had the job for 2 years, and Trent took over right around November 1st.
Did you order your new jersey?
No, because I can't afford it yet, but I will. I want the blue one with the white numbers. They hit a home run. Oh, jerseys look awesome. They look awesome. Can't get enough on my feed. Just
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. We have sent an APB out for Trent Bally. He was the producer of our show. He has not been seen nor heard from so far today, 4 segments into the show. Mark, has he arrived?
He has. I think I scared him this morning. I think I scared him because I was actually upset this morning. Trenton was a bit late. And David, you know me. You know how upset I used to get. Trent saw a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 of anger. I'm like, come on, man. You're late. We got to go. Because the computer, if Trent's not here when I'm here, I have to log in. They won't give me a login. The place that we work. They refuse to let me have my own login.
Exactly.
They give me a key to the building, but I can't log onto a computer.
Right. But they'll do anything, by the way, to help our show.
Right.
That's
so
what
Trent
they told us. They'll do
has
anything.
a login, and we have to use his. And usually he's able to get the authentication on his phone, and he can do it while he's driving in. But for whatever reason, this morning, the first 2 times I tried to log onto the computer, it didn't work. And if you do it too many times and it doesn't work, we're locked out. And it was at the time of the morning where being locked out may have prevented us from getting on the air. So I immediately stopped doing anything until he was in the building. And I was pacing the hallway.
Oh, like a caged tiger.
Walking outside.
David, Mark opened the door for me. And you know how the door is here. It's not, it's, you can't see out of it, you know.
That was the fourth time I'd been outside, Trent.
I mean, look, I'll stick my hand. I was late.
Oh yeah, you don't have to own up to it. I
No,
mean,
we know.
you know, if you're walking in the door at a certain time, I mean, there is no owning up to it.
So I
Second
think
time
Trent
this
was
week, by the
nervous because he knew that I had a little hostility, even though I don't think I let any of it out. I think I kept it.
You called me. I was late. You were like, "Hey, come on, get your in here."
Were you gentle in the face?
I don't know if I was gentle. I'm very rarely gentle in the face, David.
He was gentle enough. I can tell you that.
Okay. Well, you're still alive because I've known Mark long enough. There was a time in which you wouldn't be working the show right now. So, okay.
Guilty as charged.
So, well, and listen, this is coming from me because trust me, there was a time, and if I was still there, you wouldn't be working the show right now either. So, all right. Good. But it's just that, you know, we did 4 segments. We chimed in there about home court, home ice. Okay. And sure enough, the only reason I knew that Trent is part of the show today, the Detroit Lions jerseys came up, and all of a sudden this voice appeared. It's like, I'll be damned.
Man, the Lions hit a home run.
Oh,
those jerseys.
shut up.
They look great.
You know, let me just explain something to you about your beloved Lions, of what they've done, and that they have completely conned you. No, 100%.
How so?
They've had their first good season in my lifetime.
No, come on. They went to the NFC title game in 91. Come on.
Whatever.
They won 12 games in the regular season. They embarrassed the Cowboys. You got to give them credit for that.
Okay, how about in my lifetime?
But one of the few good seasons in the 54 years that I've been on this planet. Trent, Trent, let me ask you this. Last year, you were a Detroit Lions season ticket holder. Do you still consider yourself a Detroit Lions season ticket holder?
Yeah.
So you're responsible for 100% of those tickets now?
I mean, not exactly.
No. Why? Why?
Because prices went up.
So after the best season of your lifetime, they jacked the prices through the roof. Through the damn roof. And then on top of it, while they've already got their fans over a barrel and they have no choice but to pay these exorbitant prices that they've never had to pay before, after one good year.
New uniform.
New uniform, so everybody's got to buy a new jersey too.
And I'm going to.
What a sucker.
Sucker.
Tattoo it on my forehead. Grit. One pride.
And I really hope for your sake, for all the Lions fans out there, I really hope that they're able to continue what looks to be a run of a few years of being a good franchise. I hope it lasts for a long time for you. But there have been a lot of teams that have had that 1 year and then gone right back to where they've been.
Well, I'm just saying those new uniforms are going to look really good with all the confetti raining down in a few months.
They plan on having confetti at a preseason game?
Say, what? Listen, I'll tell you, you know when they should ring confetti? How about start winning on Thanksgiving again? You know, when you guys were bad, at least you won on Thanksgiving.
That's a farce. They never really did.
No,
they never really did. Everybody,
more.
Up on Thanksgiving. No, they just play on Thanksgiving every year. They win occasionally.
Well, first off, we actually watched them on Thanksgiving around the rest of the country. So it was the first time and only time we saw them all year. And I don't know. It seemed as if they won a little bit more on Thanksgiving than they otherwise did. Plus, they had a few big wins in their history. You know, the Packers had a great team one year. They lost one game. It was to the Lions on Thanksgiving, you know, that sort of deal. But I do need to point out here, Trent missed Monday's show because of, you know, the whole flight thing. And then 2 of the other 4 shows, he's been late.
Not my best week.
It's had a hell of a week. And the NBA playoffs, like, haven't really started yet. I mean, this is, in theory, this is probably the best Trent we're going to get for the next 2 months.
No, I'll be better.
No, I mean, let's be honest. Can you be worse?
Yeah, no, you have my word.
I mean, you're like Tyler Hero against the Sixers right now, okay?
But you keep shooting.
Wait.
Yep. Take your time, by the way, on that last three. You got plenty of time.
Might as well get to it. Hey, how about you take your segment back, Trent? Time now for our Molly Maid play of the day. What do you have for us, Trent?
The LA Kings wrapped up their season last night. They got a win in overtime 6 seconds into the overtime period. It was kind of bizarre. Here's how it sounded.
And off the draw, Kempe quickly moves in. Kempe shoots and scores! That's the way to end the regular season. Overtime goal. Adrian Kempe. 6 seconds in. Kings win it. 5-4.
Pretty remarkable. Quick on the draw, the LA Kings. That's all I got for you. I don't know.
Well, that goal was significant. It changed who their first-round playoff opponent was going to be. If they had lost in overtime, they would have had a different opponent. But instead, by winning, they get a rematch with Edmonton.
I want everybody to remember what that sounded like, because I can guarantee you every overtime goal that we play for the next 2 months is going to have a lot more oomph than that one had. That was like, hey, great, what a way to end the regular season. Hey,
and we're having pie after dinner. Yay.
That one was like, thank God the regular season's over. Let's just get on with the playoffs. That's how that felt.
Well, and your enthusiasm going into it also was kind of the same way, too. Hey, is there corn or string beans with that? All right, good.
I'll take the corn. 239-774-5839. If you've got corn on your floor and need it picked up, Molly Maid can do that and much more for your home. Call them today, 239-774-5839. Be sure to tell them that Miller and Moulton sent you.
So you're going to buy a new Lions jersey?
Of course.
What? All right. What jersey are you going to buy?
I'm going to get number 6 with T-Bal on the back. That's my nickname. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? That's what I'm doing. I get my name on it. I think that's a little more acceptable by Miller and Moulton standards.
This is his last year by our rules that he can wear these, right?
I've broken down. I've completely broken down. I've given up on the jersey rules.
What?
I can't fight the fight anymore. There are too many other fights I would rather fight.
We're Clint Eastwood on the front porch. Come on, Mark. No. Say it ain't so.
They've broken me down, David. I'm broken.
Oh. Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yes, it's T-Bal, T-B-A-L. That's how you spell it. Deathstroke nailed it. Not T-Bell like Taco Bell.
And not T-Ball.
No. look at just getting grilled.
Hey, you got to understand, we've been doing this for nearly 20 years together. You're a new guy. They're going to take our side.
I'm okay with it. I just think it's funny. That's a good one. Just getting better. Screw it. I'm just putting Bally on.
So when you're walking into Ford Field and you're walking in behind Trent, don't you have to start to have the conversation? What the hell jersey is this? Okay, did we miss something? Who's not? I don't know a number 6 on the Lions.
I have been asked several times because my current one is 91. I don't.
Was that in honor of the last time they'd won a playoff game? No. I'm being very serious. Otherwise, why would you have 91?
Dennis Rodman. I like 91 was one of my numbers growing up because I just picked it. It's like, all right, I'm getting a jersey, 91. And Robert Porsche.
Can you see David right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I have to admit, I think there's a side to Trent that exists that we don't really know about because his infatuation with Dennis Rodman. You know, he comes across as this nice, polite young man.
But
there's got to be a devil inside of him if you love Dennis Rodman this much.
Oh, he's the man.
Middle child syndrome.
Rodman's the man.
I think the only guy that likes Rodman more than him is the dictator in North Korea. Man.
I will say.
You love Rodman more than I love diva wide receivers.
Oh, yes. Wears that worm shirt at least once a week. That's a high rotation shirt right there.
Yeah, it is. Probably top 5.
My kid's so pissed. Not only did I win his fantasy football league, I just got done winning his fantasy hockey league.
Oh, no.
He's not happy. I'm like, really? Who else would you want to win besides you? He's like, I know, but.
I thought basically what he's telling you is anyone.
Anyone.
Because it's either dad or everyone else. Those are really the only options. I mean, he can't have only 1 or 2 people ahead of you.
Right.
I mean, you either have to be number 1 or you have to be dead last. No, SEC me. There's no. I don't know if I love my wife as much as I love running the damn ball. Ha ha! All right. Call him.
He's on the line.
You got to go to work now, Trent.
He's on the line.
I got him.
Good.
And we have 22 seconds until we're back.
Listen, you cannot give a countdown today.
I'm in no place to give a count.
You have lost your rights to give annoying countdowns today.
That's fair. That's more than fair. Okay, here we go.
In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour. Pat Kirwan to talk all things NFL at the top of the hour. Alejandro Solana, part of the Heat Radio Network. Heat facing elimination tonight. It's the same thing as last year. Beat the Bulls at home or you're done. And Gavin Brindley, who made his NHL debut, a Florida kid, born and raised and played in the league this year. He will join us coming up at the top of our bonus hour. But Henry Yoho is kind enough to join us right now. He covers the Lightning for Fansided's Bolts by the Bay. It's boltsbythebay.com. You can follow that at Bolts by the Bay. You can follow Henry at Henry Yoho, Y-O-H-O. Henry, David, and Mark, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm doing great. How about you?
Well, are you kidding? We got the Lightning and the Panthers in the first round. We are jacked. How do the Lightning, they finished great. They made some deals. They're as healthy as they've been all year, especially once they get Sergachev back. How do they match up, Henry?
I know it's a really exciting matchup for sure, especially when it was a little bit unexpected a few weeks ago. But as far as the matchup goes, I think most people would probably agree that the Panthers have probably been the best team, in the NHL probably all season long, even though they didn't end up with the best record. But as far as the Lightning go, I think that they'll take this matchup with the Panthers, because they've had a lot of success against them over the years, especially in playoffs. The Panthers team identity's changed a bit since the last time that they've played in playoffs, and I think that the Lightning feel good about where they're at. Last time they played in the regular season, Lightning ended up winning pretty comfortably, and they're very familiar with this opponent. They know what they're up against, and I think that on paper the Florida roster is better, but as far as the Lightning go with their big stars and the big guy in net, I think that they'll be comfortable with where they're at because the star power up front maybe favors the Lightning just a little bit, but on paper I think that you gotta probably like the way the Panthers are sitting with probably what's been the best roster all season long.
Well, and the one thing about that roster, that Barkov line's so tough and their defense pretty good. Do you worry about the physicality that Florida can bring to the series? Tampa changed the way Florida, when you said they changed the makeup of the team, they changed the makeup of their team because of the Tampa Bay Lightning and became a tougher, grittier team. Do you worry about 5-on-5 against the Panthers because of the physicality that they bring to the table?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you said, the Panthers really changed their identity because after getting knocked out in playoffs and back-to-back years by the Lightning, the Lightning kind of bullied them and pushed them around, and even at that point, the Panthers teams could still play pretty rough, but they doubled down on that, by moving out Jonathan Huberdeau and then bringing in Matthew Tkachuk to change, the way that they play, especially physically. And, the Panthers play such a tough game, and whoever comes out of this series is going to have a huge chunk taken out of them. And I think that the 5-on-5 play is concerning because the Panthers, I believe, have allowed the least amount of goals, at 5-on-5 throughout the season. The Lightning have not been a absolutely great defensive team compared to what they've been in the past. They can still score at a pretty high level. They get a lot on the power play, but I think the 5-on-5 play definitely does favor the Panthers. And, in the way that they play physically, it's definitely intimidating. They're rough against everybody, and the Lightning don't have that identity as much as they have in past years.
Henry Yoho, we're talking the Lightning. Bolts by the Bay is fan-sided site that covers the Lightning. You can follow that site at Bolts by the Bay. You can follow Henry at Henry Yoho, Y-O-H-O. Are the Lightning deep enough? You know, the teams, obviously, that went to the 3 straight finals, they were plenty deep on the back line, and they had at least 3 quality lines. The Lightning, especially midseason, looked as if they were about a line and a half and 2 defensemen. By the end of the year, Henry, I feel they've got 2 really solid lines and 4 defensemen. Are they deep enough?
Yep, that's the biggest question. That's been the biggest thing all year, is that this team is not as deep as they used to be, especially on the back end. Like you mentioned, the scoring up front, the forward line's been pretty top heavy. Nikita Kucherov accounting for almost 50% of the team's goals, factoring in on the scoring. The team's been very top heavy scoring wise, definitely not as deep as in past years. And that's going to be the big question, is if somebody's going to be able to step up from down the lineup. This Lightning team is not as deep as the Panthers are rolling right now. And that's going to be the biggest question, is if anyone's going to be able to step up from down the lineup. And there's no question that this Lightning team is not quite what we've seen in the past. But like I mentioned before, when you've got the stars that they do up front, and if those stars are able to get going, they're always going to have a chance, because they can score at such a high level and can maybe outscore some of the problems they might have further down in the lineup. It's obviously not the recipe that you necessarily want going into playoffs. You want to have all 4 lines rolling. And if they're able to get some production from the bottom of the lineup, you have to like where they're at.
Tampa's going to need Vasilevsky to steal at least a game, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The goaltending matchup's, a good one, because Bobrovsky at the other end, he's had his moments of being a hot and cold goalie, especially in playoffs. Last year, he was a hot one, bringing the Panthers all the way to the final with the way he was playing. And Vasilevsky, after missing the first quarter or so of this season, came back, and it was nothing special. He was human for a lot of the rest of the year coming in, but you did see flashes of the greatness that you've come to expect from him over the years. It just wasn't there, consistently every single night. His numbers were pretty average for the most part over the regular season for his standard. But like I said, you did see the flashes, you did see the moments, the great games here and there. And to be able to get that over a 7-game series, maybe steal this team a game or 2, especially on the road early in the series, could go a long way towards the momentum that the Lightning have going forward.
Henry, does this feel like the end? Much like the Warriors just experienced earlier in the week, the Lightning went to the finals in 2015. This is 10 years now. This is an amazing run that the Lightning have had with 6 or 7 trips to the conference final, 4 trips to the finals, hoisted it twice. Does this feel like the end of this core group's run?
Yeah, a little bit. It's obviously much closer to the end than it is the beginning. The writing did feel a little bit like it was on the wall this regular season with so many struggles in the first half. Team wasn't really getting going. The guys are getting older. The depth unable to hang around like they could in the past due to the salary cap, couldn't keep so many great pieces. You do wonder how many runs this group still has in it. But a lot of the core guys, like Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, they're a little bit fresher, than Stammer and Hedman. And so, if they're leading the charge, I think that they're still going to have some more runs in them. But, with Stamkos and Hedman kind of getting up there in years, you kind of wonder how many runs that these guys have left in them, especially with Stamkos being a free agent at the end of the season. It's a little bit of uncertainty as far as where things go with the captain. And you definitely do have to wonder how many runs these guys have left, and you kind of have to appreciate it and realize that there's not going to be a whole lot more left in the tank for these guys, because they've given everything they've gotten, and it's going to be sad whenever the day does come that they're no longer going to be in contention. But for right now, they're still a pretty dangerous threat in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You know, Kucherov coming off the season that he's had, it's been almost shocking to the two of us that it seems that he's not getting a sniff for the MVP. I mean, yeah, Tampa's putting some stuff out, but league-wide, you don't hear his name. When people, it's McKinnon, it's McDavid. How surprised are you that Kucherov's not getting the MVP hype that we think he should be?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It is kind of strange that, you can almost, for a player of his caliber, you can almost still call him underrated because he's not getting, the recognition league-wide, because you hear so much about, like you said, McDavid, McKinnon, Austin Matthews as well. These guys are kind of dictating the conversation, and Kucherov's season's been unbelievable. It's been one of the great seasons in recent NHL history. And, I think, maybe part of it, comes down to likability, marketability. You don't hear a whole lot from Kucherov, as far as talking to the media. And whenever you do hear from him, a lot of people don't care for what he has to say. A lot of people were rubbed the wrong way by what he did at the NHL All-Star weekend, kind of dogging it in the skills competition, being in Toronto too. All the attention's on him, and a lot of people didn't really care for the way he behaved there. So I feel like a lot of people were kind of writing him off and dismissing him as a potential Hart Trophy winner, because a lot of people didn't really care for his antics and didn't aren't going to want to vote for him. But yeah, it is kind of strange that he's not in the conversation more, because what we've seen this season's been nothing short of special. It's been one of the great NHL seasons in recent memory. Recent 100 assists the other night, just the fifth player to do so with the first ever winger. It's been really impressive. It's a shame that he's been so dismissed on the national stage, and that McDavid and McKinnon get more of the recognition. But they've had awesome seasons of their own right. And as far as the MVP vote is concerned, you really can't go wrong with any of the handful of candidates that are going to be up for the award.
Yeah, there are 6 guys who, if they get MVP votes, you can certainly understand. Finally, quickly, what's the status of Sergachev?
Sergachev. It doesn't seem like we're going to be seeing him real soon. They've been teasing us a little bit the last few weeks, saying that he's been on the ice. We've seen him in the red no contact jersey, which is a promising sight. But at the moment, I'd say it's unlikely we're going to see him in this series, and it might take maybe a series win or two to see him down the road. But even saying that, it gives a lot of hope for the Lightning to be able to see him down the road, because whenever a little over two months ago now, whenever we saw him go down, it looked like we probably wouldn't be seeing him again this season. And I think the progress is promising for the Lightning. Maybe a little bit ahead of schedule. Seeing him back on the ice does definitely count for something. But as far as seeing him this round, I think it's highly unlikely. It's going to have to take a series round or a series win or two to see him maybe get back in the lineup down the road.
Bolts by the Bay is the fan-sided site, boltsbythebay.com. Follow it on X at Bolts by the Bay. You can follow Henry Yoho, who's in charge of it and covers the Lightning, at Bolts by the Bay, at Henry Yoho, Yoho. Henry, thanks for your time. Enjoy the series.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, guys. You do the same.
I will say, Mark, and it surprised me because I agree with your assessment about Kucherov's MVP chances. And he nearly had a 50-goal season, and he had a 100-assist season. I mean, it's remarkable. But I was listening to NHL Network Radio yesterday afternoon, going to pick up my granddaughter. Make as many jokes as you want. All right. But they had a little panel on, and they were talking the Hart Trophy. 2 of the 3 guys on the panel voted for Kucherov.
Really?
I almost wrecked the car. Yeah.
Because I happened to be watching an NHL show on TV yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You can make the jokes about me that you want to make.
Look at the 2 of us goobers.
And nobody was picking Kucherov. It was all McKinnon.
Now, I mean, you do have to say there are I think 5 legitimate votes. Panarin, because he's in New York, may get a few third-place votes or what have you. But I do think there are 5 guys. Crosby had a great year. Nobody's going to give him a first-place vote. I think he was the best two-way player in the game this year. I really do. But McDavid, McKinnon, Austin Matthews, and Kucherov. I mean, if any of those 4 guys get a first-place vote, I don't know if you can yell at the person who's given him a
No.
first place vote.
No, I don't think you can either. I've just found it, and I'm happy to hear that some NHL panel people were picking Kucherov because there's been no, to me, national love for Kucherov, despite the season he's had. And what's had come late.
And I get the whole, well, can you really give a guy an MVP vote on a wild card team? Yeah, if it wasn't for Kucherov, the first 50-plus games of this season, all right, they would have been the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, seriously. I thought for 50 games, him and Braden Point carried the whole damn team.
And they're going to have to continue to carry them. Their power play is going to have to be sensational. I mean, they have to win the special teams battle in a major way, to me, to win this series.
Well, could the whistle then determine this series? How? Because Florida has to. They've gotten chippy against the Lightning. They've put themselves in the box the last 2 times they met them in the playoffs, and they can't do that.
No, they've got to establish their forecheck, but continue to play disciplined hockey. You can hit and play disciplined. That's what Florida has to do. I like Florida in the series.
I do too, in 7. Our poll question, by the way, Heat, Magic, Lightning, Panthers, which of the 4 teams goes deepest in the playoffs? Vote accordingly. Pat Kirwan, NFL Talk next.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, Pat.
Yep, that's my most nervous moment of this show, saying good morning and not having a response. I've had enough of those to know until I hear them, I'm pretty sure I screwed up something.
Well, we're not going to big league you. You know that.
No, it's just equipment.
Trent,
Hey, Pat, did you
your
see
job is to what, bud?
Did you see the Lions uniforms?
Oh, he doesn't care.
I first off, they went from a team I love to a team I think I just will abuse because bad teams switch uniforms.
Yep. And jack ticket prices after one good season.
Yeah.
They are setting themselves up for failure right now.
Yep. They just can't handle success. And we all know that's a problem in the world.
I don't know how to deal with success either.
How about the Jets? How many times do they change uniforms? Remember this, Trent. You can't polish a turd.
You know who never changes their uniforms? The Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what they do every year? They win.
That's right. The Raiders never change uniforms. The Giants' definition of a change is like adding a stripe somewhere that you can't remember if they had before. That's it.
But at least give me this. They switched to something they already had. They didn't do something new. They just went back to the very
let me just take you back. I'll give you what's wrong with the morons running the Jets. When Parcells got there, the first thing he did watching tape, I was there. He stopped the tape and he said, "No wonder your quarterbacks can't complete any deep balls." And I'm thinking he's getting ready to tell me how shitty the quarterbacks are. He goes, "Look at their jerseys." He froze the tape. He goes, "Look at their jerseys. It's the exact same color as your home field. They can't pick them up under pressure." And I looked and I said, "Holy crap." And he changed to that dark green so they would not look like the field they were on. First thing he said. But they're going back to the light green. I guess they want to go back to incompletions. And
I like that, Pat. I never thought about it that way.
Either did I till I watched an end zone copy with Parcells, and he looked at me and he goes, "You can't complete passes to jerseys you can't see." What a blend of field and jersey. That guy, he thought about stuff like that all the time. Like he wouldn't let any coach wear anything at practice that wasn't a pullover. Can't wear any zipper down jackets. Can't wear any button down things. Everyone had to wear a pullover. I didn't have the balls to ask him why. I just put.
I was going to say why. I was waiting.
I concluded, Mark, that it was a rule he just wanted to see if you were stupid enough not to follow.
Okay.
I think they were called hurdles. You know.
Yep. Rough start for your Blades, Pat.
Well, my plane lands on Saturday at 6:30. Hopefully they're playing. I'll be at that.
Are you leaving Thursday? Are you leaving Thursday morning for the draft so you can stay for the Wednesday game?
Correct. Let me be honest, though. Even if they weren't playing on Wednesday, I'd be leaving on Thursday.
Well, I did figure. We talked about this yesterday. We were joking because we had Brad Ralph on yesterday, and so we got done. We were talking about you a little bit, and we pretty much had your flight detailed. And I knew because it was Detroit, there's so many directs from Detroit to Fort Myers that you'd be able to get here.
Yep. I did them a favor. I was originally going to leave at 1:00 in the middle of round 5.
Here we go.
And then I can stay till the 4:00 and still make the game on time.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And it's that day and time in which we're joined by Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio's Moving the Chain, CBS's NFL Today show. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7 is when you can hear Pat on the radio. He is headed to Detroit next week to broadcast the draft once again. Pat joins us courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between. Pinchers where you can't fake fresh. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I steal from you guys whenever I can, and so I don't really have a daily poll question, but I put one up yesterday, and I couldn't believe the amount of optimism in the National Football League from fans. So here's what I asked them. First off, no draft since 2010 has had 6 quarterbacks go in the first round. None. 5 a couple times. So I asked this question. Will this year's first-round draft quarterbacks be as good as the class of 2020? almost every one of us said yes. And I was like, please. Here's class of 2020. Joe Burrow, Tua, Justin Herbert, and Jordan Love. That was the first round. That's 4 successful guys that are definitely all playing on a second contract or more. And most of the people who call that show, oh no, this class is going to be just as good. Do you guys think this class is going to be as good as that group?
No.
Yeah, me either. And they thought it was an easy answer. I go, oh boy, we're not ready for the draft. We got to have reality check week.
You buying that the Patriots picks up for sale?
I say this about Elliott. It's, his dad was Ron Wolfo I worked with. He was just a kid when I knew him, but I think it's really hard for brand new guys with brand new coach to pull a trigger on a trade. He'll get nervous about the compensation package. He'll get nervous about how far down he has to go and what will he get. He needs a quarterback. Now, if someone convinces him Bo Nix is your guy, he could probably move down some spots and get it. But my experience will tell me that he's gonna get a little shaky on trade day, whenever that is, and that should be, day of the draft, the 3rd pick.
Well, also we're gonna have to use some common sense here, some basic human nature. Kraft took a back seat for 20 plus years.
That's why he won.
I understand that, but you know how owners think, you know how big ego people, successful ego people think. Kraft wants to take some of his power and control back with his team. He did it first by getting rid of Bill, and now he's handpicked guy. And what has he said publicly? We need a quarterback. I mean, come on. Elliott Wolf has to give his boss what he wants. He's got to draft him a quarterback, doesn't he?
He's going to draft a quarterback. The question is where. And when you move down, you can't predict what's going to happen to you. So I don't think they're going to leave. And I think they're down to Drake May or McCarthy. That's what I think. I don't think they're bold enough to take Penix. I don't think they take Bo Nix at 3. So they're down to those 2 guys. And that's what I think, he'll pull a trigger on one and tell the world why was number 1 on their board. We also know how that works. Oh, we got the guy we had number 1 on our board. Oh, really? I'd be nervous to see the rest of your board.
Does Washington having a QB conference mean that they're going to trade, or are they just trying to be too smart for the room?
No, I think they know what they're going to do. They're going to take Jaden Daniels, and I think what did they say yesterday? We're very, very close to our decision. And a day from now, they'll be even closer as the draft comes closer. So, no, they know what they're going to do. And they got they've injected a lot of veterans on the roster. I think there's 15 of them. And they got a lot of picks, and they're going to land up, I think, moving around. This is what you guys talked about the other day. They can move up and down all they want, especially up. They got enough to go do it. So they're going to be happy with what they did. If they take Jaden Daniels, they're going to be, you know what? I believe them if they say that was the number 1 guy on our board. He'd be the number 1 guy in mine if I had a board. But boards cost $10 million to make. So I love when guys call my show going, on my board? Really? You have a board in your house? Which is, name your scouting department. How many times did you send your kids out to workouts?
I believe it's a piece of paper, a pen, and a .com.
Yeah,
is his board. Washington with 6 of the top 100, by the way. A 1, 2, 2s, 3 3s.
And that's a hammer shot for them. Out of that, just playing the probability game, they should be able to get 3 starters and 1 or 2 role players.
Well,
at a minimum, right, Pat? I mean, if they do it right, it's 4 or 5 starters.
Yeah, but like Detroit did that, and we acknowledged it all year as one of the best drafts in a long time. Seattle did it a couple of years ago. It's very hard to get that many guys. And if they didn't sign 15 veterans, most of them look like backups to me, but those guys will be a little ahead of schedule when it comes to camp and getting ready. So I'm talking about opening day, 3 starters and 1 or 2 role players. I think that's a really good – if you do that in a draft, you've done well.
Is McCarthy worthy of a top 10 pick?
Not to me, but it's close. It's, I've had conversations with people that love him. I've had conversations with people that think he's a systems guy, and if you don't put him in the right system, he's not going to flourish. And we both, all three of us, know what the right system is: run, play action. And it's easy to say that kind of stuff when we're on a show like this or even in summer camp. It's not real easy when you're losing by 10 points in the fourth quarter. Run, play action's over. Sooner or later, your opponent's going to make you a pass guy. And I don't think people know enough about him to think he can do that. So that's where I think the mystery is.
The people who love him, what do they say about the lack of throwing in college? Was it just from the workouts? Where is it? Or was there enough balls, enough certain passes that he made that they feel comfortable with him?
Yeah, the guys that like him loved him in the red zone. They like his escapability. I told Phil the other day, we had a nice discussion about this guy, and I said, Phil, I don't believe all of his scrambles are scrambles. I think they have built-in dash pass, which is the old John Elway stuff, which is drop back, set the thing, and then escape predictably and telling your line, we're dash left. And now just talking to Roman Wilson, I kind of accused him of it. I said, look, there's too many times you're just run the exact same route every time he breaks the pocket. And it looks like it's been practiced. He looks for you. It's how Tyler Lockett is and was for Seattle. So I do think they played to his strengths. But again, when you look at the number of pass attempts for these quarterbacks, you start with Bo Nix with over 1,900 pass attempts in college. You've got almost all these guys are in the 1,400, 1,500, 1,300, and then you get to him and it's like 600 or something. So that's why people get nervous.
How do you judge Bo Nix, though, when 1,000 of those 1,900 passes were at or behind the line of scrimmage? And I'm not being snarky here. I'm being serious. I mean, I understand there are a lot of short passing offenses in the NFL, but not as short passing as Oregon's, if you know what I mean, Pat.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you judge him?
Well, the way coaches once that comes up as an accusation, which is your question, hey, what about his deep ball? What about his, throw out the bubbles? It's like when I do running backs, I never evaluate third down runs. It's 3rd and 15. You hand the guy a draw. I am throwing that play right out. I'm going to give you 10 yards before I tackle him. So when it comes to this quarterback, you got to dig into the tape and go, give me all of his deep balls. All right. Well, what's the definition of a deep ball? Over 20 yards. Let's just use that number. When he throws the ball over 20 yards, can I see that tape, please? Well, when you look at that tape from last year, you're going to see 50 throws. Is that a lot of throws? No. Is it too small to evaluate? No, you can evaluate 50 throws. I think he was 50%, which is pretty normal. Remember the old days when everyone was a 50% completion guy? Well, he was 50%, and he threw for 1,000 yards on deep balls, over 13 yards a catch. So if you want to, modify your view of him, you've got to break down all these areas. Okay, how's he against the blitz? Well, when you see the blitz, you know that a lot of those bubble screens come out and ball's gone before they get there. But yet, people did blitz him. You want to look at that reel? There's 125 plays by him throwing the ball against the blitz. I think he completed 85 of them. So he's handled the blitz. And if you want to throw out the bubbles and just look at, did he throw the ball down the field? How did he do? There's a lot to like in there, but he's got enough plays in college, for God's sake, to break down any dimension you want. And I don't think it talks you into taking them, but it's not like, when I was talking to you guys about JJ, I hear this all the time. Well, he's only a fastball thrower. So I just said, I'm going to keep watching tape. I see change of pace throws. And I found them, not a lot of them, mostly to the tight end, but he does have occasional soft touch. It's not like Colin Kaepernick, who just threw hard balls every time. But you got to do that kind of work, and it's hard.
The intangible part of the QB thing, because all these guys can throw it. We get it. A lot of them can move. But they always talk about the it factor. When you've interviewed these guys, Pat, which guy has the it factor to you?
It's great because I've talked to just about all of them now, I think. I didn't talk to McCarthy. I think Jaden Daniels has it, and it's kind of an interesting – his confidence kind of oozes out of him. He's not abrasive with his teammates. They like him. They listen to him, and I think he'll transition to the NFL game with that personality. I also feel like Penix is kind of like he knows he's a gunslinger. And I think he's going to be a guy that's going to win the confidence of his teammates at practice, the way he throws. And he's a good guy. I don't know about the kid from USC. I really don't know if he has that, Mark. That, to me, I think it's going to be hard for it to surface. He's quirky enough that people are going to judge him on some of the things he says, does, and they might not buy into him. That part of him scares me.
It is fascinating. The Bears have done virtually no anything with any of the other quarterbacks, and quite frankly, they haven't done a ton with him either. It's like they made up their decision in December, and there's no need to invest any more time in it. Pat, we've got about 30 seconds. You like to play the where will guys fall game.
Yeah.
Where do you think, if you want to grab Penix and Nix, how patient can you be?
Knicks maybe a little more, but Penix, I think, is now, 2 weeks ago, if you asked me that 2 weeks ago, I'd say early second round. Right now, I'm going to say he's going to be one of the first round guys, probably the Raiders. I would think people are starting to realize the guy handles the blitz. We talked about this. He got sacked once every 12 blitz calls on him. He's got a rifle, and he's got an NFL arm, and he's got big hands. This is Phil Simms loves this. Outdoor teams, although the Raiders aren't, give me a big-handed quarterback, pump fakes, everything else come off the size of that hand.
More with Pat Kirwan coming up on the other side right here on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Oh, guys, got anything good going on today?
I'm teeing it up.
Oh, it's a beautiful day for that.
Yes, it is.
They're talking record temperatures here in Jacksonville. They're going to reach the low 90s today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're due for the same around here, but it's okay by me. I like it hot.
Good problem to have.
Question in our Twitch chat room, your thoughts about Greer as a GM for the Dolphins?
Well, he's, I think, under a tremendous amount of pressure to perform here and get this team over the top. With Buffalo moving, the receiver off and a couple other players, they're going to miss about 8 starters. The owner of the Dolphins is not going to tolerate not winning the division now. And I don't think Tua is going to be a problem to sign, except when you sign him, you're stuck with him. And maybe they get nervous. I don't think he'd be fired at the end of the year, but I think he'd get on real thin ice. the owner is very impatient, I believe, at this point.
Well, also he's like 84 years old, isn't he? I mean,
yeah, it's always dangerous. They get like crazy. They hear Father Time ticking on them, and they think I'm going to die. Crazy. My owner was just like that. And he said, I'll never forget it. He goes, I don't care what it costs. I don't care what we have to do. I don't have a lot of time left. Get me Bill Parcells. Okay.
And of course, that was always great for you because you're like, well, great. Well, I'm going to get the guy who's going to fire me. But okay, boss.
I told him. I said to him, he cleans house, which I personally think I would do if I was ever in this again. Everyone goes. He even got rid of the maintenance guys.
I always remember I got my first job in hockey, Pat, and Craig Jenkins, my boss, told me, he goes, you're going to get fired. He said, you don't read about that in the transactions, but when new GMs come in, they bring in all their own people. And that means radio guys, marketing guys. That means everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you about Leon Hess, though. I love the guy. And Steve Gutman and I did everything we could to get Parcells, and we got him. And we gave away draft picks and spent a lot of extra money and all that stuff. But Mr. Hess brings me in his office after he says, he says, come here, I want to see you for a while. So I walked in and he goes, look, you're the young guy. You'll be the one with the energy. You're gonna have to help me do this. I said, I want to do it. I said, but I know what's going to happen when we get him, and we'll get him. He goes, don't worry, I'm going to take care of you. So once he gets here, if he wants to get rid of you, I'll take care of you, which he did. I was going to do it anyway. I was ready to go work for Pete or something. I was already telling my wife, get the house ready. We're getting out of here as soon as Parcells gets here. But Parcells only did one bad thing to me. And when I got the Bear job, he said, you can't take it. I was under his umbrella. He goes, you can't take it. You got to come back. We'll talk about it. I came back and said, okay, I've got the pro personnel job. It's like the assistant GM to Mark Hatley. He goes, don't take that job. They're going nowhere. We're going to be great here. I'm really getting to like you. I said, okay. So I turned the job down. A month later, he says, hey, this isn't working out. I said, Bill, I accept that as how you feel, but you told me this the day we got from a 1-month vacation. I haven't been here, neither of you. How could you come to that conclusion while we're on vacation? That's all right. Mr. Hess gave me something with 2 commas in it. I didn't feel bad.
I'll just raise the price of gasoline a penny. That'll take care of it.
Yeah, I told you about that story at the Miami Dolphin game. Mr. Hess, he sits down with me, Trent, on the bus. We just got beaten by the Dolphins. We're getting ready to pull out to go to the airport. We're in Miami there at the stadium. And I go, Mr. Hess, I'm sorry about today because we fucked the game up at the end. Boomer Esiason throws a stupid interception. So Leon Hess, who was pretty funny in his own way, said to me, Pat, I know you gave it. And he used to come and sit with me, and he goes, Pat, don't worry about it. He points at a gas station, a Hess gas station across the street from the stadium. He just goes, I'm just going to raise the super unleaded 3 cents a gallon for the next week, and we'll be good. He was crazy. He used to come and knock on the door of the coach's box, and I was in there, and
we're coming back.
Can I sit with you? He said, sure. I go, why? And he goes, I can't take my wife anymore.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains. You and Jim doing a mock draft today?
No. Today's the fans mock draft. They had to sign up as GMs, and they stormed the gate. Now, we got like 3 and 4 applicants for every team. We picked the people that we thought would do a good job, and they have to be by their phone all day as we go through the picks. And they get a minute and a half or so to tell us who was on their short list for the position, 3 or 4 guys that you were targeted, who are you going to take, why. If we don't let them trade, but if you were going to trade, who would you trade with? Just give them a chance to be a GM for a minute or 2. And then at the end of it, we vote on the worst GM of the day. And they're real nervous about that job. And the best GM of the day. So that we try to create a little pressure on the guys. Nothing's funnier, Mark, than when a guy picks someone who's already picked. Like he's not paying attention. I'm taking Mark Miller. And when he comes, he goes, it's clear. I'm taking Mark Miller. Well, that's interesting. He was picked 10 picks ago. You should have been paying attention. Dumbest GM of the year.
But moving the chains today, 3-7. Pat with his co-host Jim Miller, and I guess they're doing their fan mock draft, which I used to do 20 years ago. But when Miller and Moulton joined forces, Mark said, listen, you can name the show whatever you want, but I have one request. We get rid of the fan mock draft.
And that's only because he allowed trades.
I did.
And Pat,
these
listeners were trading Hall of Famers for first-round picks. And I'm like, David and I were separate at the time. I listened to a turn. I'm like, no. We're not allowing Derek Brooks to get traded for a first-round pick. It's not happening.
Yeah, I think
I'm with you guys, and we, of course, have eliminated. There are no trades because they'd be insane. And they still have a good time when we make them. We have a laugh button.
Gotcha.
We have the Jeopardy music when the guy's humming and hawing.
You should use that on the real show. All right. So what do you think Sean Payton is going to do at quarterback? He obviously doesn't have his future quarterback in-house. Maybe he thinks he doesn't have to get his future quarterback this year. But what do you think he's going to do with the draft at 12?
I think he's going to move down a few spots and take Bo Nix. If the other 5 quarterbacks are gone and there's no threat of a quarterback from the next 4 or 5 teams, I think he's going to try to look shrewd, move down a few spots, grab an extra pick. So now when he announces it, we got Bo Nix and a 2. He's something that sounds as a package like he was pretty slick.
Well, and Denver doesn't have a second-round pick also.
Correct.
So you could see where Denver would want to move down from 12. But so let's just say the 4 quarterbacks go in the top 10. Nix and Penix are still on the board. You expect the Broncos to trade out?
I would think that the Broncos now, by saying that means that you're going to go down below the Raiders.
Correct.
And the Raiders still have the opportunity to take a quarterback. But I think, and this is Phil Simms says it too, he just thinks Bo Nix is more Sean's kind of guy. And he knows Sean very well. He thinks the guy is just does a lot of things. And he's real disciplined to his offense, which frustrated him about Russell. Russell's an ad-lib guy. Bo Nix is not an ad-lib guy. He's going to play the system. And he's seen it all, and he's done it all. So I think it'll be his guy. But I think he feels like, he wouldn't say this, but he's got to get a little something extra besides taking Bo Nix. So if he can tell the world he got a 2 and Nix, he's going to be happy.
Mark, I'm going to make a prediction. It's either the Steelers or the Packers who trade up to 12. And I think they're going to both do it for Brian Thomas, wide receiver LSU. Because I don't think he'll be on the board much longer.
I agree with that. He's pushed his way into that elite group. And it wasn't hard for him. He's a very good player.
Looking at the receivers, Pat, when you're getting ready to the top 3 or 4 guys, but when you're looking at that next group, that second round, what's the most important thing for you? Is it depend on what the team need? Are you looking for size guys? I see Cam Coleman who can't run. Doesn't run a great 40, but he's big. He's a great red zone presence. And then there's other guys like the kid from Texas who can burn. What is it you're looking for?
Well, it depends on what I already have. So if you're good at the X and the Z, now you're looking for a slot guy. You're already thinking, I can get the slot guy later in the second round, maybe near the bottom of the second round. If you don't have a vertical threat guy, there's teams with a lot of big guys that run 4.5, and obviously you're looking for a 4.2, 4.3 guy. You're looking at Worthy from Texas. So it's at this point, if you don't have a number 1 receiver, which a lot of teams don't, a guy that will command double coverage, and you haven't picked in those top 4 receivers, good luck. I don't think you're going to find one that's going to be what we call a true 1. And some guys, did you see Brandon Bean's comment? Speaking of that subject, we're looking for selfless players, not number 1 options. So I think some guys are looking, it's specific to what you want. If you need a guy that can run the jet sweep, and that's a Z, and you want a guy like that, that's got some athleticism to him. then you're looking for that. I just think there's not plenty. There's a couple of each of those around. It's not like there's only one slot guy. There's only one X. There's X's. There's speed, and then there's power guys. Like some teams are gonna want to love Xavier Leggett, the South Carolina kid. If you try to build a model that looks like the 49ers, or you come from the 49er tree as a coach, that's the guy you want. Because you've been there, like when Deebo Samuel's busting tackles. That's what they're looking for, and that's the kind of guy you'd be looking at.
Do you think there are enough quality wide receivers that if you're Buffalo and Kansas City at the end of the second round, that you can grab a guy who will jump in and be one of your top three? Because otherwise, if you don't think that, Pat, they both clearly then need to go wide receiver with their first round pick.
Yeah, so at the bottom of the first round, that Mitchell kid from Texas, I think, has fallen a little bit. He's got some issues. And I didn't think they'd surface this early, but they did yesterday. So, but he's a very talented player. If you can handle some of the personality quirks that come along with him. He's diabetic, doesn't take his medicine, all that craziness. But we knew there was a medical card on him. I just didn't know it. And I wasn't going to announce what it was or say it, but it came out yesterday. So now we know. Look, in the bottom of the second round, where Franklin's going to be and Mitchell, I think, is now going to be, and Wilson from Michigan, you can get a guy in there. I think that group is not going to run out of gas until maybe the third or fourth round.
Okay.
I also think there's going to be 10 or 11 receivers in the first two rounds.
Oh, I think there'll be at least 12. At least, I mean, I got a 13 in front of me here. I'd be surprised if any of them make it to the third round.
Yep. Hey, everyone plays three wides now. So it's a position that calls for more talent.
When do organizations start conducting mock drafts in-house? Is that this weekend?
Probably today. I know one guy called me and said, and they assign guys to teams. So a guy can hone in. Each scout might get a team to get ready for, and they'll get the coaches in there. So one guy called me and said, hey, I got this team. What do you think of them? I said, you're not doing the work yourself? He goes, I do, but you guys do this every day. So it is interesting. They're just trying to predict the flow of where it's going to be. Do they have to move down? Do they have to move up? Most of them have already talked to teams about potential trades. That doesn't mean they're gonna, but you got to start. Even if you don't like to trade, you're probably taking calls and thinking about it if the compensation's right. I think a couple teams have already said they haven't. What didn't the Patriots already say they didn't get offered enough to even consider a trade yet?
Right. They basically begged yesterday, hey, make your best offer, otherwise we're going to stand pat and take quarterback.
Yeah. And I think the frustration for the trade uppers is that I don't think the Arizona wants to trade down.
I don't know why they would. They've got so many picks. It doesn't make sense to me, Pat.
Just take your best receiver and get on with the draft.
Well, in theory, then the Chargers can put their bid up for auction, and they all but announced yesterday that they are.
Yep.
So he's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio Moving the Chain, CBS's NFL Today show. Pat joining us courtesy of Pinchers. Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, about a dozen locations in between Pinchers where you can't fake fresh. Pat, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for your time. The Heat are facing elimination tonight. We'll talk about it next.
Located on the East Trail,
Be good,
locally
guys.
owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I got to tell you, NBC-2.com used to be a great local website. The new company bought it. It is not the same website.
That's what you used to use, right? For
Good, bad,
ugly.
But even I thought they did I don't think it's as good now that they've changed the whole format of it. They went to whatever their company uses. Hearst, a big media company. I'm not saying I just
yeah, that's weird.
It's not as good as it used to be.
Pat is the greatest. I love just listening to Pat just riff about anything. Does he do the entire draft or just night one?
Oh, no, he does the entire draft.
Really?
Yeah.
All the way through Saturday?
Mm-hmm. That's why he said he was thinking about leaving Saturday in the 5th round to fly back for a minor league hockey game.
That's great. I love David's gaming chair.
Everything about it's fantastic.
The red, the racing stripe, whatever you call it.
Just the fact that it's a gaming chair. Because when you think gamer,
you think
David Moulton.
It does not feel like Friday. Probably because I didn't have Monday. But week has flown.
Yes. Yeah, Greg Doyle interview. I watched. His a little creepy, wasn't it, Sonny? Did you see that?
No.
Greg Doyle he interviewed Caitlin Cart, and he started with this, and he gave her the heart like she gives her family.
Oh my God.
He's creepy. It's
Yeah, Mr. Boutte, I agree with you. April has just, I mean, what the heck? It's like a month ago the bracket was released. Then that came and went. Do you have Get Up on right now?
I do.
Do you see the topic?
I will say at least it's relevant. The playoffs are starting.
Sure, but that's, yeah, I get it, but it's just like, that's the epitome of the jokes you guys make right there.
Well, wouldn't she be the spokeswoman, Canada Relief? Spokesperson? Come on now.
right on time. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. If you've missed any part of Miller and Moulton, go to millerandmoulton.com, millerandmoulton.com. Last hour, Henry Yoho talking Lightning and Panthers from the Lightning perspective. We had David Dwork on yesterday talking it from the Panthers perspective, so you could download that as well. Just had Pat Kirwan on. Going to talk to new NHLer Gavin Brindley coming up at the top of the bonus hour. But right now, it's Groundhog Day. Same situation as a year ago. Heat facing elimination in the play-in. Alejandro Solana, part of the Heat radio network. You can also hear him on 560 QAM in Miami. Follow him on X at Alex, the letter M, Solana, Solana. Alex, it's David and Mark. How are you?
I'm good, guys. I'd be feeling a lot better if we had today off and we'd be gearing up for a Heat Knicks first-round playoff series. But here we are again, gentlemen. It's the Miami Heat. They like it the hard way, and this will definitely be the hardest possible way to get another run out of this year's playoffs.
Well, how do they do it without Jimmy Buckets? I mean, this is going to be a tough task. Not just, I mean, if they get through tonight, it gets even tougher. But how do they get through tonight?
Yeah, well, they get through tonight, in my opinion, by getting through, the other 22 games that he missed this season. Jimmy missed 22 games, and we know, right? That's part of, and it has been part of the Jimmy Butler era in Miami, where he's going to miss, 20 to 25 games per season, going to play 60 of the 82 regular season games. So the good news here is that at least the Miami Heat had some sort of continuity playing all their depth and all their guys without Jimmy Butler this season. They were 13-9 in the regular season when Jimmy didn't play, and usually Jaime Jaquez Jr., the rookie out of UCLA, starts in his place, and he does a lot of the things that Jimmy Butler does. Look, I'm not comparing him to Jimmy Butler. That would be ridiculous, but he does a lot of the things Jimmy Butler does, and I think that's going to be the strategy tonight, where you start Jaime, but the reality is, how do they get it done tonight? It's got to be Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. They have to be the two best players on the floor tonight. And the Heat talk a lot about their depth. Guys like Caleb Martin, Haywood Highsmith. We saw some good minutes from Kevin Love and DeLon Wright the other night as well. Those guys have to play well tonight on the Heat's home floor, where Miami has not been good this season. Okay, their home record this year was really, really bad. One of the worst ones they've had in over a decade down in Miami. So, when you think about how they can win a must-win game without their best player, you look at that roster, you say, Tyler Hero the other night, 9 of 27 from the floor, just not good enough. I mean, he has to be more efficient, and Bam Adebayo, as well as he played, and as tough as that task is to cover Joel Embiid all night, only 9 shot attempts and 10 points is also just not good enough against a Bulls team that we know can put up a lot of points. So Tyler and Bam have to be your two best players, and the rest of that unit really have to come up, knock down threes, play really well on the defensive end, which we know they're capable of. That's the key to beating the Chicago Bulls.
How concerned are you about Butler for the future? I mean, he's going to be 35 when, they show up for training camp next year. This knee seems to be something that is going from I can live with and work around to maybe it's going to be more than that. I mean, I thought in the second half of this season, he looked a little different, a little slower. Am I reading too much into it? Has Jimmy Buckets started the decline?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I don't get outraged when people say that, but here's what I'll say about the latter part of your question, where in the second half of the season, he looked a little slower and perhaps like he was declining. When you look back at the Jimmy Butler era here in Miami, this was pretty commonplace where he would play 60 to 65 games. Again, like this isn't something that he only did last year and this year where the Heat were in the playing tournament. You look back at the season where the Heat were the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, it was pretty much the same deal. Same thing in that 2020 season, which I know was cut short because of the pandemic. But, Jimmy Butler didn't play all those regular season games either. The Heat banked on, hey, this is how we take the regular season. We prioritize our guys feeling good for the postseason. And you run a risk with that. That's just the reality. You run a risk of playing with fire. And if you do end up in the playing game, rather than, playing with a full roster during the regular season, and all they needed to do was win 2 or 3 more games. And if you go look back at the Heat's record, or schedule rather, you'll see 2 or 3 games that they lost that were just ridiculous losses. Okay. I mean, at home against Washington, speaking of the Bulls, back in November, they played a game in Chicago where they opened up the game on a 22-1 run. They had a 22-1 lead and lost that game. So there's a lot of games you can look at and say, hey, you lost those games, you put yourself in this situation. But this is what the Heat have been doing with Jimmy Butler. So when I look at his regular season statistics and you kind of compare them over the years, there's no doubt his numbers dropped a little bit this year. Okay, there's absolutely no doubt. And can you attribute that to him getting older, him and his body maybe just not being able to hold up, an 82-game regular season schedule at this age? It's fair. There's no doubt about it. But as far as the knee injury goes, this is a pretty common injury in the NBA. Not that everybody sustains an MCL injury, but, it's not like tearing your ACL where you have to go under, 6 to 8 months of rehab. I mean, potentially he could have been back over, the next 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, depending how this goes. So I don't think this specific injury is something that we have to be concerned about for next season. But big picture, yeah, I think it's fair. Can Jimmy Butler be the best player on a team that's going to win an NBA title at 35 years old? I don't know. And so far, despite all the incredible runs that he's put on in the postseason, Miami hasn't been able to get over that mountaintop. So I think this offseason, Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg, Mickey Arison, the Heat's owner, certainly those will be conversations they're having, right? Because it's not an outlandish question to think, hey, can a 35-year-old who just underwent a tough injury at the end of the season and has struggled staying healthy for the course of 82 games over the past couple of years that he's been here, can he be the absolute best player on your team to go and lead you to a title? There's no doubt that you want to avoid this situation, which is having to play in a play-in tournament game. That's not ideal for Miami. Even if last year they set the precedent that they can get out of it, you want to avoid that because look at what happens, again, when you play with fire. You take that risk of having to play an extra game and your best player getting injured for what you were hoping to be another deep playoff run. The Heat have to figure out a way to not be in that situation next season. They wanted to go after Dame Lillard in the offseason, this past offseason. For whatever reason, Joe Cronin refused to talk with the Miami Heat, and it is what it is, right? Dame ends up in Milwaukee, but it's not like they haven't gone out and tried to make trades to go find a true number one or another number two to play next to Bam and Jimmy. It just hasn't worked out for the front office the way that they hope, but I can't imagine a situation, whether they lose tonight or whether they end up winning this game and they go play Boston. I feel like we all kind of know what's going to end up happening there in a series against Boston without Jimmy Butler. I have a hard time believing that Pat Riley, Andy Ellisberg, and that Heat front office is going to kick up their feet and say, "Oh, we'll run it back again next year with this trio."
Yep.
I'm not suggesting that any of those three will be on the chopping block. I don't know. I don't know what direction they're going to take it in, but there's no way they're not going to try to improve this roster next year.
And Dame already hates it in Milwaukee, so who knows what that'll bring in the offseason. But back to tonight's game. They've got to play this in the mud. I know you don't worry about point spreads and things like that, but the over-under is 205. I would think if the Heat win this game, it's going to be an under. Don't you think they've got to keep this to right around 100 aside?
Yeah, and look, the reality is the Heat struggle to score 100 points. I mean, they hit the century mark, and they start pumping in Pepas at the Kaseya Center. So, look, the Heat have to do it defensively. It's how they had that 14-point lead against Philadelphia, right? I mean, you basically were just turning them over. The Heat play a press-to-zone defense. So you'll see that all game long, especially when defensively, they're allowing easy buckets, easy opportunities at the rim. But look, Kobe White can't go off for 42 like he did against Atlanta, and DeMar DeRozan can't go off for 30 or 40 points, which he's capable of. Miami has to win this game on the defensive end. Easy turnovers leading to easy buckets on the other end. That's what's going to jumpstart their offense. And we know that because that's been the precedent all season long. The Heat in the half court are not efficient offensively, especially without Jimmy Butler. And if your threes aren't going in, Miami is going to struggle to score 100 points, period, end of story. We know that over an 82-game sample size, that's who this team is. They have to win it on the defensive end. They have to limit Kobe White in transition. They have to make DeMar DeRozan take tough shots. And you just hope that nobody, named Nicholas Batum shows up in a Bulls jersey tonight, because that's ultimately what did the Heat in Philadelphia. It wasn't Joel Embiid. It wasn't Tyrese Maxey. It was the most difficult part of that game, other than the Jimmy injury, is that you lost the game to Nicholas Batum, who all of a sudden turned into prime Steph Curry.
Alejandro Solana. He's part of the Heat Radio Network. You can also hear him on 560 QAM in Miami. Follow him on X at Alex, the letter M, Solana, Solana. Alejandro, for your sake and for Heat fans, hope you get a W tonight so you can keep on being a part of the Heat Radio Network for a few weeks longer, and hopefully we can talk to you down the road.
That's the plan, gentlemen. Look forward to talking to you during the Celtics series. Thank you.
Thank you. And remember, a year ago, Mark, they played the Bulls in this game, and they were losing with 4 minutes to go at home. And then 2 months later, they're in the finals.
And remember, Alejandro just booked himself for next week.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, well, and I hope for the Heat's sake that they at least get by Chicago tonight. I think they lose tonight.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
I love the Heat tonight.
Yeah, I actually like the Bulls tonight. Bulls score against everybody. Bulls hit shots. Heat give up mid-range jumpers. The Bulls live for mid-range jumpers. I think DeMar DeRozan's the leading scorer in the game tonight.
If that's the case, well, I think the Bulls win as well. I just know Jimmy Butler. They barely won this game last year with Jimmy Butler. I don't see how they pull it off tonight.
Tyler Hero game.
But this is a fascinating where the Heat are, not to spend a ton of time on them, but, Orlando Asagari, who even last year when they went to the finals, he's like, listen, Bam needs to be your third best player on the team, not your second best. Tyler Hero, he's like, don't believe in him. Sorry. Think he's tradable. It can be good one night, bad the next. Fourth or fifth best starter is what he needs to be on your team. And I just sense, the Hawks just lost. And they're talking about where are places that Trae Young could end up. And I got to, there are teams that jump out. Brooklyn jumps out. What about the Heat? I mean, see, I think Jimmy has begun the decline.
There's no doubt that Jimmy's begun the decline. It's just at what rate he's declining, if you know what I mean.
I understand, but can Jimmy, and I don't care that he only plays 60 games in the regular season. I need Jimmy Butler for the spring. Okay, so but can he be my second best player on a contending team in the spring? That's what I'm curious about, because he's 35 in September. Not everybody can be LeBron. In fact, most can't. Most at 35, they're out of the league. Never mind your best player, your second best player. So, to me, the Heat are in a very interesting spot. Are Bam and Tyler Hero good enough that you can go try to find one other guy to put with them and you're a championship contender? Or do you actually need to use them to get your star and then try to put people around them?
And I think it's the latter, because I don't think you can build a team around the two of them. I'm more on the Big O side when it comes to that. I don't think they can be 2 and 3. I think they can be 3 and 4, if you know what I mean. I don't know where you're the more of the association guy than either of us, Trent. Do you think you can win a championship building a team around Bam and Tyler Hero?
Probably not. I'm with you.
And remember, 3 years ago, Trae Young had the Atlanta Hawks 2 games from the NBA Finals. Now, I know his stock now is not what it was then, but Trae Young had the Hawks to a place the franchise has literally never been since they were in St. Louis. 2 games from the finals. And he's available. Just throwing it out there.
Miller and Moulton. Heat and Bulls tonight. Play-in game. Loser leaves town match.
Come on, Heat. Let's go.
And I'm right there with you. Hey, I want the Heat to win. I'd like to see the Magic win their series. I'm the only, I love seeing Panthers and Lightning. I just wanted it to be the second round so they both win a first round series. I'm for content on this show, not teams from Florida getting knocked out.
What's going to make the show better?
Right.
That's our poll question, by the way, of the NBA and NHL teams in Florida that are in the playoffs. Who's going to have the deepest run? Heat, Magic, Panthers, Lightning. Those are your obvious choices. Vote accordingly.
No one voting for the Heat, by the way.
Well, I don't know. Think about it. Panthers and Lightning are playing each other, so one of them is going to get to the second round. I don't think anybody thinks either of the NBA teams is going to get to the second round. Gavin Brindley of the Blue Jackets is next.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
His last 12 months have been ridiculous, Gavin Brindley.
Yeah.
2 Frozen Fours.
Big Ten Player of the Year.
Big Ten Player of the Year. He was voted one of the 3 best players on Team USA. They won the World Junior, which you and I have talked about. In the hockey world, that's a BFD. He's got
Beat
2
Sparty
Frozen.
to go to the redeems the win. I mean, they lose to Sparty and OT for the Big Ten title. Redeem it and pound them
To go to the Frozen Four. Back-to-back Frozen Fours, a gold medal in the World Junior a few months ago, second-round pick 10 months ago, high second-round pick, and makes his NHL debut. Basically in about 14 months. 12 months, really. So.
19, by the way.
Right.
We have
No,
a
I
guest
know.
on the show that's 5 years younger than you.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
And here's the thing. He's not even 20 till October. Think about it. He's played in the NHL, and when he goes to a Blades game, he's going to get carded. When he's walking around with his Team USA little jacket on.
So one of my dad's buddies just texted me. He goes, "You will like this news. My son got into Michigan but turned it down. He's going to MSU."
Dummy.
Why?
What an idiot.
No, seriously. Why?
Better place.
No. Come on now.
Better place, not a better school.
Better place for sure.
Better place.
Well, yeah, no, but okay, I'm sorry, but I thought school. I mean, you're going to a school.
Right.
You're not going to a place.
Well, for what it's worth, yeah, I don't know what he's studying. It must, it's a lot
Obviously,
cheaper.
nothing that
Obviously nothing important.
Probably going into communications.
Right, like
Yeah,
nothing
really.
worth going to Michigan, if that makes sense.
Right.
Oh, there's no doubt buried in bourbon. We will bring up the irony of the Michigan man playing professional hockey in Ohio.
Okay, we're going to voicemail. I'm going to leave one.
Oh, wow. He knows we're calling too because Ryan's excited. He texted Pat Kirwan.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this Friday. We've had a good week, if we do say so. A lot of good guests, kicked a few things around. Going to be joined shortly by Gavin Brindley, and we are fired up for this interview. We are so happy for him and his family and what he has accomplished in the last 12 months, and we'll be honored to have him on the show. But NBA and NHL playoffs getting underway this weekend, less than a week away from the draft. It's a fun time to be doing a sports talk show. There's no doubt about that. If you don't know the story of Gavin Brindley, he's 19 years old, born and raised in Southwest Florida. His dad, Ryan Brindley, longtime Everblade. And, he's got the genes and then some because he's been a part of Team USA in juniors, has won a bronze and a gold medal playing for Team USA in the World Juniors. Went to the University of Michigan for a couple of seasons, helped lead them to the Frozen Four both times. Was just voted Big Ten Player of the Year and leading them back to the Frozen Four. And was drafted very early second round in last year's NHL draft by the Columbus Blue Jackets. And so his college season ended just in time for the Blue Jackets to call him and say, "Hey, you want to play a game with us before your off season?" And so he suited up in the NHL at 19 years of age. Tuesday night in Columbus and got about 14 shifts, got a little power play time, played a little over 12 minutes, and can only imagine how that felt. And we will find out right now because Gavin Brindley is kind enough to join us. Gavin, it's David and Mark. Thanks so much for your time and congratulations. How are you?
No, of course. Appreciate you guys having me. It's, crazy past couple of days, but it's been great.
Well, what was it like, the rookie lap, getting out on the ice? I mean, this is something you've dreamed about your whole life. Take us into that locker room and onto the ice for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really put it into words, to be honest. Being in that locker room with all those guys, and it's pretty crazy. You're a 19-year-old kid, and these guys have been around the league for some guys maybe more than 10 years, and it's extremely special, especially in Columbus. I think it's such an underrated city, and they're building something special here, so really exciting for sure.
Was your head spinning? Because, I just detailed while we were getting you on the line, your last 12 months, and really about 14 or so if we want to go back to even last year's World Juniors. You've represented Team USA twice in the World Juniors, all right? You've been drafted in the second round. You've helped lead Michigan to back-to-back Frozen Fours. I mean, it's been a whirlwind 14 or so months. Was your head, I know it's a cliche, but was it spinning a bit Tuesday, or did you realize, holy blank, I'm in the NHL?
I mean, a little bit. You go, when you walk out your first lap in that rink, it's pretty special. But I feel like I played in a lot of big games, and to me, it was just another hockey game. And as soon as I got on the ice, everything just kind of slowed down and felt normal. So obviously, you're nervous leading up to that because you don't know what to expect. But as soon as I got out there, it was all good.
When did you make the decision that you were going to sign? Was this something you'd thought about all through the year at Michigan, or did it come later in the year? When did you make the decision to turn pro?
A little bit, not too much in the year, but it was Monday morning, the day before the game. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
So you mean a week ago today you didn't know if you were going to go pro?
No, I fully thought that I was going to come back to Michigan and stay another year, but it's crazy. It's just how it works sometimes. So,
what was the ultimate decision to end up coming to Columbus and not going back to Michigan for another year?
There was a couple factors. I think the main thing was just talking to my family and talking to my guys. It was just I just think I was ready. That was the biggest thing is I was ready to take that jump and play pro hockey. So that was the main one. And I love Michigan. Love everything about it. Ann Arbor is, I think, hands down the best college campus in the country. And my boys there, they're the best. And it's a pretty incredible place.
Think about the 3 jerseys that you've worn in the last 12 or so months: Michigan, USA, and then an NHL jersey. I mean, I know you dream about this, and you're still obviously very young at 19, but is the last 12 months even better than what you dreamed?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, growing up, you obviously your dream is playing NHL, your dream is playing the World Juniors, your dream is to play college hockey, right? So it's pretty crazy, just being able to achieve those things and kind of just move up and down the list, to be honest. But I mean, like winning the World Juniors was, had they been up there for probably the coolest thing ever. Playing in Sweden, winning in Sweden in front of their fans, sold out rink, and just to see a yellow, that's pretty cool. Obviously we lost in the Frozen Four 2 years in a row, which sucks, but both years we had unbelievable teams and a great group of guys. But I mean, it's definitely been a little bit of a crazy past couple of years, but it's been amazing.
As you well know, spending time in Ann Arbor and Columbus don't seem to get along that well. What do you do with all your Michigan gear? Can you still wear that around Columbus, or did you have to just give that to Dad?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be wearing that stuff around anymore. So I haven't really thought about it. I gotta drive back today to Ann Arbor and grab all my stuff. So I haven't really thought about that yet, but maybe I'll get my little brother. That'll probably be the best move.
I was going to say, did you even have proper clothes to go to the rink with since you decided so late? I'm guessing everything you had was Michigan.
Yeah, it was I mean, I had three sets of clothes and a suit, so day 3 is today. So I got to get out of here now.
What's next for Gavin Brindley? Obviously, Columbus's year is done. Are you any talk of them sending you to their A affiliate, or are you just now off until training camp next year?
Nope, I'm off until training camp. So just go back, have a great summer, and enjoy home, and just start training. Just come in ready for camp and ready for the season. And it was the first time I've had a summer like this since I was probably 12 years old. Just you have all the summer hockey growing up, so it's been this is the first time that I actually have a full summer to train, and that'll be good.
Gavin Brindley, born and raised in Southwest Florida. Dad, Ryan, played for the Everblades. Could you just talk to us about being a hockey kid in the 239? What was it like? And then obviously you've ended up traveling the world in juniors and now the NHL. But just, as a hockey kid in the 239, having the dream living in Southwest Florida, what was it like?
Honestly, I think it's the most underrated spot there is to grow up and play hockey. I mean, the weather, it's gorgeous every day. You wear flip-flops to the rink after school. Like, it's the best. But honestly, like lifestyle-wise, it's incredible. And my family's done a great job of making sure that I appreciate that kind of stuff and don't take it for granted. But at the same time, it was a lot of travel growing up, right? Like, you're going every weekend. You're going to Detroit. You're going to Chicago, you're going to Boston, Toronto, wherever it is. So it's a lot. At the same time, I loved Florida, and I stayed as long as I could till I was 15. So, it's awesome. I can't wait to get back down there. So we'll be back soon.
It does sound like you're looking forward to this summer. I mean, as you said, since you were 12, you've been playing summer hockey. I know the schedule of travel hockey. It never seems to end. And then when you get into college and World Juniors, you've been playing hockey constantly. How important really is this break just to set your mind right?
Oh no, it's huge. I think just physically too, right? I'm not the biggest guy in the world, and I've the most I've had to train was probably 2.5 months since I started training. So this is the first time that I have kind of a foundation and have a plan, and am able to kind of get after it and have a great summer and just focus on next year. So I'm extremely excited.
Gavin Brindley, and you said you're not the biggest guy in the world, officially listed at 5'9", about $170, $175. When did people stop telling you were too small?
No one's really stopped telling me. I think it's still, it kind of just keeps going. But I mean, I've heard it since I was, 12, 13 years old. And I mean, it's just kind of motivating, right? I think, guys in the NHL, it's kind of trending in a smaller direction, especially if you're skilled and you think the game the right way. So I think I have that to my advantage a little bit. And it's been crazy. No, definitely a lot of criticism, but now I feel like it's kind of slowing down a little bit.
Did you get any number choice on the sweater, or did they just hand you 45 and say, "Here, kid, here you go"?
No, that was my no choice. That was my number for development camp. So I've worn 4 my whole life, and then I wore 5 my first year of World Juniors. So they just put those together 45. So maybe I'll stick it out for a bit. I don't know. I kind of like it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I've also only played 1 game, so I'm not sure how much pull I have.
What have the Blue Jackets told you? Like, if they said, "Listen, this is what we're thinking. Bring you to camp. Maybe we'll play you in the A to start next year, or are we going to give you a chance to earn a job out of camp?" Have they said anything to you?
Not much has been said, to be honest. Like, just before my first game, everyone, coaching staff, management, just enjoy it. Like, we don't care how you play. It's just your first game in the NHL. You got to enjoy it. Other than that, it's just been kind of conversations about having a great summer and coming ready to camp. So I feel like, if I go have a great summer and come ready to camp, I think I have a good chance to be where I want to be. At the same time, I'm 19 years old, and if I have to spend time in the American League, like, so be it. I need to develop and spend time down there. But it's exciting times for sure, and I can't wait for the summer.
Gavin, you said when the game started in Columbus, it was just another game. Was there an NHL moment for you? Was there a moment when you looked up, whether it was one of your teammates, whether it was someone on the opposition, when you said, I'll be damned?
I mean, just getting dressed in the locker room, right? Like you have Johnny Gaudreau sitting across from me. Eric Branson, who's been in the league for a super long time. Sean Crowley, who's in Boston. Ivan Provorov, who I was a big Pittsburgh fan growing up, so he played for Philly and saw him pretty much every other week. I mean, just so many guys like Elvis. There's so many guys. I can go up and down the list. Philly, Cole Sillinger. Like you're with all these guys in the locker room getting dressed, and it's like, holy.
Right.
You go from the Michigan locker room to this, and that was probably the welcome to the NHL moment, and obviously the rookie lap too is pretty special.
Gavin, congratulations. Obviously, we've been rooting and following from afar. Enjoy your summer. Say hi to your family for us, and hopefully we can talk during the fall.
Will do. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Gavin Brindley.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
And to Mac in our Twitch chat room, if we have to mention freestyle wrestling results to get that sponsorship, done. Tell them it's a done deal.
Oh, done. Done and done.
Done.
I'll wear wrestling tights once a week on the show if I have to.
It'll be part of Jersey Thursday.
Right.
We'll turn it into Uniform Thursday. I think you could save that interview for a best of, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I will.
Oh, I have a question for you I was thinking about.
Okay.
What are you doing for the July shows now that Felipe took a job in Miami?
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Maybe I can get him. He can just do it remotely.
Yeah, he
maybe.
could.
Yeah, we could do that.
He's working, though, the night shift. Okay, just so you know. I mean, he'll be getting home between like midnight-ish.
Well, that's what he's working 2 to midnight?
Yeah, he's got the night shift. He's going to be, I think, a videographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a shooter. He's a shooter.
And we don't mean on the court.
Hey, can you clip that interview and send it to me?
Yeah. Right now?
No, just after the show.
Right this minute.
There's no time like the present.
Think about his last 14 months, by the way. He's 19 years old. He's represented the United States in the World Juniors twice with a gold and a bronze. He's helped lead his college hockey team to back-to-back Frozen Fours. He gets drafted very early second round. It was a disappointment. He didn't go in the first. He was projected as a late first rounder. And he plays in the NHL at 19.
Yeah.
5'9", $170, $175, born in Fort Myers, raised in Estero.
He's got to put on about 15 pounds this summer.
Think about that. He was good too.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, and he was forthcoming, and yeah.
Good sense of humor.
Sounds like his dad.
I got 3 outfits. Today's day 3. I got to get out of town.
I mean, other than that comment about Michigan's campus being beautiful, I mean, other than that.
Right.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Although I thought, did he say campus or did he say college town? Was it?
I don't know. We'll have to check the tape.
Somebody in the Twitch chat room says his mom's from Ohio. I didn't know that.
I would have thought South Carolina. I didn't know. I don't know where Ryan met us.
Yeah, I don't. How many years did he do with the Blades?
Brindley?
Yeah. So like 4?
3 or 4.
Is it that many?
Let's see here. 5. Oh, he came back and played 4. He played 1 game, and they must have brought him back. But got 3 full, and then he got traded here at the end of the 1 season.
What years was that again?
03 through 07. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because his dad played college hockey in Ohio, so that would make sense. I forgot that he played at Miami.
During one of the breaks last hour, David Mark came in here to show me his draft board.
Yeah.
And he basically told me I smell like shit.
He reeks of booze. I know that smell. Someone hit it hard last night.
He starts talking. He just cuts himself off. He's like, "Oh God, you smell like booze." I'm like, "Oh boy."
I know that smell. I've been there before.
I was going to say, no offense. Okay. The last time.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Diamond District bonus hour on this Friday, Miller and Moulton. Our poll question, NBA NHL playoffs begin in earnest tomorrow. Hell, we don't even know if the Heat are going to be in them. They're facing elimination tonight. But we got the Heat, we got the Magic, we got the Panthers, we got the Lightning. They're all alive right now. Who's going to have the deepest playoff run?
Panthers getting the majority of the vote. Lightning second. No one has voted. I really respect our voters. I thought at least one Heat fan would, or I'm picking the Heat. Not one person's picked the Heat. Smartly.
Yeah, the Jimmy Butler injury. I mean, Miller and Moulton are both picking the Bulls tonight, so back up the truck on the Heat there. But, I mean, Trent, I'm sure, will, bet the Heat. That's a boost and a sprinkle. I have a feeling that'll be both. So, did we do it together, or was that the first time we did it? I did it as a show. The whole, would you trade your life to be Joe Borowski?
You were doing that. You were solo.
Okay. So maybe it was like the summer 05, 06, something like that. Borowski had just been released. And how about Gavin Brindley's life, huh? How about that young man? His last 14, 15 months.
Unreal.
How good is that?
First off, just to wear the Team USA sweater.
Right.
Stop there.
One time.
Right. And then win gold representing your country.
Right. Won bronze and then gold. At 18 and 19.
Right.
You're good enough to play for one of the 10 best hockey programs in the country in college. And they give you a full ride. You go to the Frozen Four both years you're there. Your second year, aren't you the MVP of the conference?
Yeah, I think he was Big Ten Player of the Year.
Right. Oh, drafted. Oh, where'd you get drafted? Like second pick of the second round? Oh, snap.
The other part of this, too, that's never happened to our young producer here.
Right.
He's 5 years younger than you, Trent.
I know that was weird. I like on the phone even. I don't know how to talk to someone that's younger than me on this show. It puts my mind in a blender.
I wish, and maybe he did it because hockey players are so polite. Okay, but I wish I knew him and we could have gotten the message to him. I'll give you $100 if you call him sir. If he had called you sir, honestly, it would have made my week. But he's so polite, he might have. Anyway, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Got some time for us this morning? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It would have been awesome. And by the way, Tuesday played in the NHL.
I think it's pretty cool that Columbus did that, by the way, for the end of the season, just to get them.
Well, it's a lot of Gavin Brindley signing, and that's, making that decision to not go back. And obviously he told us that he decided when the season ended.
Monday.
They threw a piece of paper in front of him, and he said,
I'll be damned.
I guess I'll sign.
But it's true. 45. He had nothing more to prove in college. I mean, he's proven he's a winner. When Team USA won the gold in the World Juniors a few months ago, the scouts said he was one of the three best players on the team. Well, he's just, as a sophomore, is the best player in the Big Ten. He's led Michigan in the Frozen Four 2 years in a row. So, you could certainly argue, even if you don't know much about him, I don't know how much more you have to prove at the juniors level and the college level.
No, I got you. But we were having a conversation in the Twitch chat room earlier. The Capitals leading top draft pick, BC kid. Now, he's a freshman, but he could have come up and joined the Caps, not just for the end of the regular season, but would have been on their playoff roster.
Right.
And said, no, I'm going back to college. Wow.
Right. Like 12 years ago, I'm a Rangers fan. Chris Kreider went straight from college and went on it. The Rangers went all the way to the conference final. He played damn near every game for him, straight from college. Okay. But he played 14 shifts. He played a little over 12 minutes Tuesday night. They even gave him a minute and a half of power play time.
And they won.
And they did, which they don't do a ton of that. So, born and raised in Southwest Florida, in the NHL at 19.
That's just crazy.
It's awesome.
It really is just crazy to think. I mean, Austin Matthews is a Phoenix kid, so it's not something that hasn't happened.
Right.
But that's a generation plus of hockey here.
Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, Gavin Brindley's dad, Ryan, played for the Everblades. And, he played other places, but obviously he and his wife said, no,
they finished here.
Yeah. And they're like, well, this might not be a bad place to settle down.
No, there's a few Everblades that have finished here and never left.
Exactly.
Makes up most of the Estero Fire Department.
I think they're keeping an entire Publix in business. Former Everblades, I think, are keeping that one Publix going.
Just by themselves. Yes.
I did think it was pretty cool that he gave Southwest Florida some kudos for the hockey, just a location to play hockey. I mean, he said you don't think of it as that kind of place, but it's an underrated spot.
Well, and they've gone at the, not to bore people, but at the AAA level of youth hockey, they've gone to a statewide program. It's all run out of this building, and or out of that building. It hurts. It's terrific. You know, when they started going to Quebec, into Toronto, into Detroit for these tournaments, they would get looked at and laughed at, and then they started beating all these teams.
Exactly.
And at one point, I think when, you know, Gavin and Seamus Casey played on the same team with the Junior Everblades, and they were considered, I believe, if not the top team in their age bracket, they were one of the top 3 in the country.
So,
and Seamus Casey is at Michigan. He's a Devils prospect that also is from Southwest Florida.
And we were excited to be able to get Gavin on. Okay. I think his story is cool, and it's very much a 239 story also.
Absolutely. And for at least today, we can do 239 only type stories. That might not be the case next week, David.
No, Monday.
Hour 4 is expanding.
Yes. Monday, we're in Jacksonville for hour 4. Okay. They're not going to promote it, though. That's what they told me. Going to make sure the equipment works, make sure the show's actually airing.
I like their style.
Right.
That's very much a Miller and Moulton. We are the soft open.
Yes, very much so.
Soft being the key word.
Yes, you're going to see a comedian, okay, and all of a sudden somebody walks out and they go, hey, they weren't on the playbill. What? Okay, that's Miller and Moulton.
The soft open.
You go to the concert and it's like, wait, I didn't realize they had an opening act. Huh, I must have found these guys on the street. Yeah, all right. Let's see what they're all about.
So Lightning Panthers get going on Sunday. Heat try to survive tonight. NHL playoffs get going in full tomorrow.
Some fascinating matchups. It was a terrific NHL regular season. It really was. I think it was I don't know. I was very disappointed in the NBA regular season. I just felt that we went through long stretches of teams not playing hard.
Who was your preseason cup preview, David?
Oh, I had the Dallas Stars beating, I think, Carolina.
That's what I thought. You had them beating Carolina.
Yeah, I have Dallas beating Carolina before the season started for the cup.
What did you have, Mark?
Go find the tape.
I thought he had Colorado.
I had Colorado beating Toronto. Just to drive the Leafs fan even more crazy.
He toyed with the idea of an all-Canadian final. I remember now the segment in my head. You toyed with Edmonton, Toronto, and of course you were going to pick the Leafs to lose. Okay, but you changed it and went with Colorado. Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Some final thoughts, a boost, and a sprinkle. All coming up.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Boy, do we need a boost and a sprinkle. Tyler Hero to score 25 points is plus 125.
That might be what it takes. I will say, I mean, the Bulls are 2-point favorites. So if you guys like the Bulls, you should, or they're 2-point dogs, excuse me. So there's value there if you guys like that. I think the Heat are going to win.
Might as well bet the money line then.
Right.
Plus 105, I think. Yeah, 105.
Bulls played well to end the year. Lost a 1-point game at the Garden of the Knicks. They whacked Atlanta.
What we need is a $1 six-way parlay to hit. That's what we need.
Casio was all excited. He won his first inning.
Do you realize it was the first thing I looked at when I got up this morning?
It was the last thing I looked at before I went to bed.
I forgot it was on because, of course, we were locked into gymnastics.
So who advanced, by the way?
Cal and LSU in the early session, and then Florida and Utah in the evening session.
Wow, there were 5 SEC schools out of the final 8, I thought, and only 2 advanced. Interesting. Well, that means Olivia Dunn is through to the finals.
She doesn't compete in anything.
Well, she does one event, right?
I think so. That was on at 4:00, so I didn't see any of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, she does. Is it the balance beam at bars? I don't know. She only does one event.
Did you see the New York Post headline? Speaking of Olivia Dunn. See if I can find it. See if they've still got it up. Come on. Olivia Dunn's top prospects bow unleashes dozens of 100-mile-an-hour heaters an unreal night on the mound.
He's the number 1 pick of the draft, and he's Olivia Dunn's bow. Somebody the other day actually wrote that the Pirates will not call him up until she's done competing because they want her at his debut. And I have no idea if that's true or not, but
Lakers have lost 8 straight to the Nuggets.
I thought it was 9. Okay.
I just got it up, and it's up in front of me because they already asked about LeBron being GOAT if he gets one more title. It's Trent goes, look. They had it about an hour ago. We were laughing about it.
Of course, he already is the GOAT, so, there's that.
I will say they're talking about between the Bruins and the Canes that one of the 2 franchises may go to a goalie rotation, which hasn't been done in the playoffs in a long time. You could argue the 72 Bruins did it. It wasn't a strict rotation, but Cheevers and the other guy both played, Johnston, I think, both played a ton. Yeah, the Bruins coach went with Swayman for game 1, which is a bit of a surprise. That's the guy who lost Game 7 to the Panthers last year.
Okay, let's finish strong, shall we? Here we go.
Coming from him.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. The Diamond District bonus hour edition of Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Hell of a show today. I mean, we talked Lightning Panthers, we talked the Heat, talked NFL with Pat. Just had a really nice interview with Gavin Brindley, who's made the NHL at 19, born and raised in Southwest Florida. He's a Columbus Blue Jacket. That is awesome. So download what you missed, millerandmoulton.com.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Not a lot today, but most of them are biggies, David. 1775, we start. The biggie. The shot heard around the world. The American Revolution began today.
Oh, I thought you were talking Bobby Thompson.
I knew you would. That's why I started with the 1775.
Right. Good. Okay.
1897, the first Boston Marathon was run. 1943, Dr. Albert Hoffman, who invented acid, does acid for the first time. Thank you, Dr. Hoffman.
Somebody actually took note of that? Somebody wrote that down?
Well, the guy who invented it did, yeah. And then we were all allowed to trip because of it.
Huh.
1963, Johnny Cash releases Ring of Fire. 1986, Michael Spinks beats Larry Holmes in 15 for the title.
Was that the first time or the second time? Because the first one, he beat him. He did. Holmes was trying to tie Marciano's record. I think he was 48-0, and Spinks beat him, and he did. Holmes was angry, but Spinks beat him. They had a rematch. Holmes beat him, and they gave Spinks the decision.
Today in 1995 were the Oklahoma City bombings. Gene Mansfield, Dudley Moore, both born today. Al Unser Jr. is 62. Kate Hudson is 45, and the answer is still yes. Troy Polamalu is 43. Joe Mauer, 41. Candace Parker, 38. And Maria Sharapova is 37. What did I miss, David?
You know, every time we go to L.A., and when I say we, I mean, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and we have a game in L.A., Joe is very good friends with Kate's brother. And so because of it, he's become very good friends with her. And so literally every time we're in L.A., they're in the booth. And every time I see her, I think of you.
I don't know if I'd be able to speak.
I know that. There are very few people in which, and you've been around quite a few famous people.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, you shook Donald Trump's hand before he was President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. You've been around people who are a big deal. But for various reasons, I know you would have tremendous difficulty being yourself around Kate Hudson.
Either that or I'd just try to turn it on and see what happens,
Really? So the first wedding of the century in the 20th century was today in 1956. The hell with this whole Chuck and Die thing. And you know how much I love the whole Chuck and Die thing.
But this is the real wedding of the century.
This is Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier of Monaco. Okay? They got married today in 56.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's you don't have all the it's Monaco, the principality.
Right.
Comes with all the royalty and none of the fuss.
8-month courtship. Okay, he proposed. What kind of a life are we going to have? Well, I'll give you the country. Oh.
The best life is what you're going to have.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go across the pond for the good, where David Clarkston, and I'm sorry, he's from the UK. He actually lives in Australia. So we go to Australia for the good. I misread that. That's on me. But the retired David Clarkson, 69 years old, broke a record by visiting 120 pubs in 24 hours. He broke the Guinness Book of World Records that was previously held by two men who did 99 pubs in 24 hours. He did 120. Now, I'll give him credit for the record, but I did find out that most of the drinks were non-alcoholic. He had a lot of soft drinks, a lot of juices. He had a pint when he broke the record, but it's not like this guy had drinks in 120 pubs.
Well, first off, since you break that down, that's 5 pubs an hour for 24 hours. So that's every 12 minutes he's got to be in a different pub. I would think he spent more time traveling from pub to pub than he actually spent in the pubs.
That sounds about right.
So he had to consume a beverage of some
Had to
kind.
do 125 milliliters in every place he was in. Had to have a drink of some sort.
Wow. First off, I'm impressed to just go to 120 different establishments in 24 hours.
Right.
Once again, this goes back to the whole, we have to get rid of the Guinness Book of World Records. We have to stop all this nonsense.
I'm with you. But I just like this guy's effort.
We got to get people to put their effort towards something that, is productive, that contributes to society at large. Spinning a lawnmower on your chin. We had one of those earlier in the week. Now we got a guy visiting 120 pubs in 24 hours. We're not making society better.
We go to North Carolina for the bad, where a group of people thought it would be a good idea to pull a bear cub out of a tree so they could take selfies with it.
Let me guess, the cub went all
No. They took the pictures. They let the cub go, but fortunately for them, mom didn't come back. But now the North Carolina Wildlife Resources had to take the bear, and they are going to rehabilitate it because they're afraid mom won't come back now because all the humans have touched the bear. I wish the mom would have shown up and gone mama bear on all of the idiots that were taking selfies with the bear.
Well, that's usually when you're in the most trouble, right? When mom's got her cubs around.
Got that right. Finally, the ugly. We go back to Southwest Florida and Bonita Springs, where fortunately no one was hurt, but a Dodge Charger speeding down US 41 caught the back of a school bus, lost control, and then went head-on with another school bus.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Both buses did not have any students in them. Both drivers are okay.
What are the odds of that? 2 school buses hitting head-on. Neither one has any kids in it.
Thank goodness.
Right.
And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, April the 19th, 2024.
Well, we have no hockey tonight.
No.
I just need to take a deep breath. Gear up. Got 2 games Saturday. The Bruins Leafs are in prime time. They have to service hockey night in Canada. Got to put a Canadian team on at 7:30 Saturday night for the Canadians. For
While there still is one.
Exactly. So how many Canadian teams do we have in? We got Toronto, we got Vancouver, we got Edmonton, Winnipeg, right?
Yep.
We got 4. Okay. So no hockey tonight. Panthers Lightning, 12:30 Sunday, I believe on the 4-letter network. So we do have NBA playoffs tonight. Got the Heat and the Bulls. That's on Espen. Heat 1.5 to 2-point favorite. Miller and Moulton both taking the Bulls. And with our picks for the last 6 weeks, back up the truck on the Heat.
You got that right.
Man, we need a boost, a sprinkle, 16 parlay. Man.
There's nothing going for the Heat in the Hard Rock app. I thought there would be. Nothing yet, at least. I'll monitor, but.
Just the Tyler Hero boost.
Right. Well,
25 plus points on a prop bet.
Oh, you know what? Okay, in the last 5 minutes, they must have just. It's flooded now. There's tons of boosts on the Heat.
Ton of boosts.
There's tons of boosts.
On the Heat. Any boosts on the Bulls? No.
No.
Okay, good. And then Sacramento, who's favored in New Orleans because the Pelicans don't have Zion. Winner to face Oklahoma City. So if you're programming for a network, worse ratings, Orlando at Cleveland, New Orleans / Sacramento at Oklahoma City.
Orlando, Cleveland's worse.
It is.
Okay.
Well,
right.
the Thunder, at least, they, for what it's worth.
No, don't. There's no one in America outside of Oklahoma City who's turning on the Oklahoma City Thunder for SGA. No one.
But at least they have an SGA. And I don't know if there is that in the. You got Mitchell, you got Ben Kerr. It's close.
It's apples.
It's got a lot of NBA TV written all over it, is what it has, David.
I was going to say, if you're NBA TV, you're like, now that's a doubleheader. That we can invest in. Give us 7 and 9:30.
Who you got tonight, Sacramento or New Orleans?
I like Sacramento.
All right, there's a 2-team parlay.
So I'm taking the road teams tonight.
Taking both road teams.
Yep. And the one's a 2-point favorite, the one's a 2-point dog. Obviously, it's a Friday. Everyone's playing in baseball. Marlins and Cubs are 2:20 this afternoon. Marlins are 4-15. Yeah. GM gave an interview. He came out. He said, I'm very disappointed. And I didn't know how to take that as in no blank, or is that like when your father or mother or grandparent says, I'm very disappointed in you? I didn't know which way to take it.
It's the curse.
Rays are in the Bronx to take on the Yankees. Nothing jumpstarts a Rays season like when they play the Yankees.
Boy, you've got that right.
They don't like each other.
They don't, and the Yankees have something to prove. As silly as it sounds, the Yankees have something to prove against the Rays, not the other way around.
If you were to poll the Yankee players and coaching staff, all right, they dislike the Rays far more than they dislike the Red Sox.
It's not close right now.
Now, fans may be a different story, but the players, yeah, that's their team that they don't like, the Rays. Rays only 2.5 back of the Yankees in the East. They're doing that whole Tampa Bay Rays thing again. I have no idea how they're winning games. I really don't. Bunch of good series. Got a bunch of teams with winning records that are playing one another. So, if you're into baseball, anyway, which apparently 4 of you are.
Everybody's into their team, David. That's all they're into.
I know. So, that's what's going on. I am encouraged with what I think I'm learning about the draft. I think we're going to have a lot of deals. I think it's going to be nuts. I do. And I think it's going to be a lot of small deals too. I think it's going to be a lot of just moving around. Not necessarily I'm giving up 19 things for one guy, but there are so many teams that don't have second round picks. And I have just got to believe that those teams are going to desperately try to move down. And you got a bunch of teams that have second and third round picks. It'll be like, well, great, I can move up. I can get a wideout. I can get a tackle.
Yeah, I like Arizona. I don't see trading out, but I could see Arizona moving back into the first round if there's someone they like, because they've got so much capital in rounds 2 and 3.
And they have 2 first-round picks, so they could take 27, even if they don't trade 4. They could take 27 with their other capital, and they could move up.
Right.
And we are doing, and Trent, Okay, since apparently you're looking for a reason to stay up late and then come in late to work the next day, Thursday night, put it on your calendar, the Miller and Moulton Twitch draft. And you can drink at it.
I've had a fair amount of friends and family text me saying they're looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to, seeing you drink, Trent, because apparently you're good at it. You've been doing it a lot this week, and I'm proud of you for it. Someone's got to keep up on this show.
Right, because we've turned into mushes, and that's not just our gambling.
I rolled that NBA 2-team parlay for you, David. We got both road teams. We put a little money on it.
Is that a boost or a sprinkle?
It was a sprinkle.
Okay.
Just a sprinkle.
All right.
No boost on that parlay. If there was, we'd have taken both, David, a boost and a sprinkle. Hope everybody has a boost and a sprinkle this weekend.
Do you think the women in your life would know what that is? If you looked them in the face and say, hey, I was listening to Miller and Moulton, honey, and they say we should have a boost and a sprinkle. Just see what happens on Saturday. Make it happen night. Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. For DUI, time is of the essence.